All right. Wait a minute. Okay. All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to There Will Be Dungeons. Sorry about last week. We took a day off, but we're back. And we're going to play D&D, so strap in, get ready, and roll your dice, as we will too, here on There Will Be Dungeons. A couple of quick things. At the end of the show today, you're going to hear a rad song that a listener made. His name is Rishi B, and that's all I'll say. Let's just say Om Nom's getting his honor today, all right? He's getting his honorable send-off. It'll be in the post-show of the audio version of the show today, so stick around till the end. Or if you're just so bored you got to skip to it, you can. But then come back here and listen to the entire show. But check it out because we're going to play it on today's show. That's number 1. Number 2 is I'm Scott. That's Bo. There's John. There's Kristen. There's Kyle. And there's Baby Chunks. And then 3, yeah, there's a number 3. Bo has something he wants to tell us before we go to Kristen. Bo?
Oh, well, yeah. Not that it's not that I want to tell you guys. I have just some game maintenance stuff to do for your characters.
Oh, you want me to do that between Hope and you?
Basically, like patch notes.
Gotcha.
No, it's good here. It's good here because we're gonna get right into the exciting action that we left off of last week.
What version are we on? Is this like 4.8 or what are we on for the
version of what
of the show? You're doing patch notes, so I'm just curious what patch we're on.
Oh, I have no idea.
Okay.
each episode is a new version, really. So I just wanted to call out a few things. John, your empathy grenades now have tooltips, so you can read those and see what those are. I've also updated some aspects of your mask as well. So please take a look at that. Hope, I actually meant to get you a list of mushrooms and made this a thing, but I don't actually have them on your character sheet. So I'll try and ninja that in at some point. All right, Nash as well. We've gone a long time talking about your baby arm.
Yeah.
So I've finally added that as a feat on your character sheet.
Oh.
This will now give you the option to use your baby arm as a bonus action.
All right.
And it's able to, throw things, wield stuff, and cast spells, not in addition to your 1 spell per turn slot. Cast spells independently, but it can only be, it's somatic only spells.
Okay.
All right. And John, I might have deleted one of your items. Did you find it?
Yes, it's okay. Not the right name, but it does the same thing, and so it's fine for now.
Okay. All right. I was doing experiments in your character sheet. Sorry.
That's fine.
All right. That's it for me.
Oh, I love that it's called trained baby arm. I like that. All right. There you go. Some versioning happening today. Now we get into the meat of it with Kristen and her wrap up of what happened last time on There Will Be Dungeons.
Last time on There Will Be Dungeons, the matron murmured to her passing progeny. But before bowing from his being, he hoped to help. In his history, he had dared to defend Earth, but the dragons were dealt a defeat. He warned of the Weir's wickedness and how corruption continued the cruel crusade. With his slaying success now solely sat on the hero's shoulders. Nash, considerably confused, looked to learn his own lineage, his mother, his father. Talking true, Nash was merely a mangled amalgam of meaty mush, a cast of components culled from creatures created to carry his current core. The discovery was deeply disturbing. The dragon then died, handing over his heart. Elicit the elves' education, make them mold a machine erected on Earth, deport the demons. They hollowed to his heart, and Hope's bubble was burst. Cumbersome, the group hid the heart until a return with a reliable retinue, understandably distressed about Diantalis' disappearance. They crawled from the cave and headed to a nearby hunting lodge to commandeer a quick conveyance to the elevated elves, while also winning well-earned winks. Giggling ghosts greeted the group and conveyed cuppas and candies. All tried the treats, but Nash noped. Hope devised the deceit. She poorly pretended to transform after trying one. Stanley and Varel joined in as they jostled him onto his rump to ready a repist of corrupt candy. Now rejoin our heroes as Nash Nosh's ghostly goodies. Will they taste super or supernatural? What about the whited water? And what other eldritch elevensies await? Stay tuned for today's adventure within the sacred halls and green walls of Elhandar.
it's back to you. And he's muted.
Oh, that sucks.
It's too
When
bad.
last we left off,
Uh-huh.
the party was in a hunting lodge deep within the Biodome wilds of Elhandar. If I recall correctly, Nash, your mouth was being held open by one Varel Rasvim Kurik.
Yep.
Holding your mouth agape as one Stanley Billings placed a bonbon inside the mouth, mushing it around all over your cheeks. As Hope altered into a version of yourself, was grabbing you by the collar, telling you not to trust the bonbons. And the bonbon enters into your mouth. We're in combat currently, I'd remind everyone. I believe Stanley's triggered action on Varel's turn was the last thing to have occurred. And that, Nash, now means that it's your turn. And you're in this tableau with your 3 companions having just forced you to eat something you didn't want to eat.
All right.
What would you like to do?
I will attempt to expel the contents in my mouth on whoever's face is closest to mine. I'm gonna try to spit it or cough it out
That
because I
would-
know Varel's
That
holding
would
my mouth.
probably be Hope's fate, like the version of Nash who's like got you by the collar and is like trying to freak you out.
Yeah,
It's Hope. That's the closest. Are you're gonna barf it on to Hope?
yeah. I'm just gonna kind of hawk it because my mouth's being held open. I assume that's still the case.
Okay.
So
so
it'd be hard to sort of spit it normally.
Well, no. I mean, you can spit whatever you have in your mouth out. That's available to you.
All right. I'll do it in the face of what I see as a mystery Nash.
Okay. Perfect. I'd like you to make. Spitting is covered under what skill group?
Is it actually covered?
No, I don't know. I'm
Okay.
trying to find the skill group for spitting.
That'd be
All
awesome.
right, make a spit roll using your. It's kind of a shot, so let's make it an acrobatics thing.
Acrobatics?
Yeah, and Hope, you're going to have to beat that roll with an acrobatics roll of your own.
All right, here we go. +1. 8. It's not great.
13.
Okay, you dodge the incoming bonbon that he spits out, ducking out of the way quickly. And there's no one behind you. The way I have it pictured, Varel's behind Nash, Stanley's sort of to the side, so it hits the nice lodge's walls and covers it in bonbon. as Hope Nash dodges it and then returns to what she was doing. Anything else you'd like to do with your turn, Nash?
No, I will continue to struggle in vain against superior strength checks and just sit there and take it.
Okay. Stanley, you're up.
All right, I'll grab another bonbon because that one
Mhm.
didn't hold firm enough.
Okay.
We'll try and force it into his mouth, and this time clasp the hand over the mouth so that
Yeah.
it has to stay in, and pinch the nose.
Okay, so you're trying to force it in. It sounds like kind of a strength-based sort of deal, right? Like you're trying to hold his mouth. So let's do a athletics check, please. And Nash, you don't really have any hands free, and your mouth you can't really move it, so you're gonna you're gonna fail this automatically. You didn't free up Varel's hold. So never mind. Don't make the check.
Boo.
Nash fails
Good.
automatically.
It was a terrible roll anyway.
Yeah.
So
Mine was
so-
19 if I was going to get the roll, but go ahead. I'm sorry, 20, just a dirty one because I had a
I didn't even. Did I call anything yet?
No. I was just getting ahead of myself on athletics. You said athletics,
yeah.
and then you. Yeah.
All right, Stanley. This second bonbon arrives, and do you mush it around his mouth, or does it go straight in?
I mean, if he's clenching his teeth, it's getting mushed, but I'm sure at some point with the
No,
nose
Varel's holding
pinched.
his mouth open.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
right. That's right. Yeah, no, I'll let Varel masticate for him should the need arise.
All right.
So the
you
bonbon's
placed-
just going in there, and I'm just keeping my hand over the mouth and pinching the nose.
Okay. Jeez. All right. Okay. Hope you're up next.
Seeing the bonbon successfully go in and the mouth shut, Hope as Nash will go, "No, Nash, I told you not to eat it." And then the skin will start going smooth as Hope lets go and falls to the floor.
Are you feigning death?
Yes.
So that would be a performance check, please. And Nash, you need to make an insight check.
Insight.
It's contested versus your insight.
Uh, 15 for my check.
15 here as well.
Oh, anyone have any inspiration to cash in?
I do.
Any,
I'm doing
any
it.
bonus roll
What?
features?
That's a DM trick. Save it. That's valuable. Save that.
You guys are so good. I'll give you inspiration all the time.
I have inspiration now. I'm gonna use it.
Yeah, well, Kyle's just saying I'm trying to tempt you to waste it as a DM as a trick.
I always
as a
forget to use it all the
metagaming trick.
time, so I may as well use it. You give it all the time.
Yeah, you use it.
I'm
Scott.
gonna use it.
The dark side wins again. Kyle.
I'm using it. So let me roll. Oops. 12.
Sorry, I shouldn't laugh. I'm not. I'm really not taking joy in your misfortune. So equal contest. I guess we got to re-roll them.
Okay.
Nobody can tip the scale either way.
Dirty 20.
A -1. It was a 1. I have a -2 for performance.
Oh, really? Okay. It's that bad? Okay, so as you go to feign death and fall, you trip over your own legs, falling to the ground. And you didn't really notice it, but someone left like a hammer just out lying on the ground. And so as you fell, you actually step on the hammer and it flips up and hits you square in the forehead for 11 points of bludgeoning damage.
Jeez.
Lord.
And it leaves a circle-shaped welt in between like your eyes where it hits you. As Nash right now.
Dang.
And Nash, you are not convinced that that's a real, she really died or anything. You know
that
she's
might be
faking.
the most Nash thing that could happen, though.
What's that?
Yeah, it's true. That's
What
a
that I
very
would-
Nash thing that just happened.
Oh, yeah. If it fall hit my head, yeah. You're
If it
right.
was really Nash, it would have been like a dildo or something. That's
Mhm.
I can tell it's fake. All right, so the next person's turn is Varel.
I would like to animal handling in order to stroke his neck and get him to swallow.
Okay,
Don't I have to be
animal
an
handling.
animal?
What would I contest that versus? Hang on. All right, someone's trying to make you swallow something you don't want to swallow, Nash.
Yeah.
So to defend against it, what can you do? Like just fight with your throat muscles, right?
Well, yeah, because he's just going to pet my throat? I can
Yeah.
stop. I can resist
okay,
that.
so it's Kyle's or Varel's animal handling versus your athletics.
Okay.
Go.
This seems like a weird roll.
Dirty 20.
Whoa. Hold on. That was wrong. That'll be a 6.
All right. Your throat muscles are no match for Varel's persuasive fingers.
But I've got him in a grapple, right? So I give him
Yeah.
the whole the whole big dog flip around, so I'm on top of him and holding him, down and stroking the neck.
Yeah,
Ooh, the big dog flipper.
Yeah.
Man.
he swallows it.
Okay. Now it's in me.
Mm-hmm.
I will,
Well, it's it is your turn now, unless Varel has a bonus action he wants to do. Flame burst, usually flame burst.
I'm good.
Well, now it's in me. I'm just going to give up.
Okay.
So I'm going to go, okay, all right, fine. You've had your way, whatever. And I'm just going to push everybody
All
away.
right. Nash's body goes limp as he exits combat, and you're free to act.
I raise my arms up in victory.
I'll say, that was great. I'll be right back. And I'll run out the front and barf in the bush.
Okay. Make a medicine check, please.
Yeah, hold on. How am I on medicine? +1. Oh my gosh. 21, nat 20, and a 1.
Okay, so you run right outside and you pop a finger right in your mouth, and
Yep.
then within seconds, the bonbon, pretty much whole but soggy, fires out of your mouth and lands in the grass outside.
Yeah.
Just sitting on like a golf ball sitting on top of the grass.
Yep. And I make a sound like that.
It's just, for everyone else's imagination, he did this really quick and awesomely. He just ran out there, just went and then just barfed it right out almost immediately.
Yeah. I mean, it's exactly what I wanted to do in the fight, but the way to do it was to get out of combat and then go barf it. Ding! Strategy.
I do that.
Tactics.
Tactics.
I used a tactic.
That's how.
Yep, you really won here today.
Solid victory.
Yep. They'll talk about this for generations.
Already composing songs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bards will sing my tune. Will never be forgotten.
All right.
Throw a coin
You
to your
just
buker.
-1 experience point for that combat.
Thank goodness for milestone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can't believe I used an inspiration. Kyle was right the whole time. Dang it.
Oh, you used an inspiration that made the combat easier, so the XP gains for you are different at minus 100 XP.
Okay, good. Good.
I will celebrate our victory with my companions here while Nash retches outside. I will pick up a bonbon and using my flame soul ability to melt objects, I will melt the chocolate, letting it stream down my thumb, and I will mark my forehead and make my way to the others and mark their foreheads with chocolate so they will know who was victorious this evening.
Hope will transform back, and as he goes to mark her forehead, she'll wince in pain as it slides across.
Oh yeah, it slides across your welt. Did anyone refuse the mark of victory?
No, we'll wear the mark of victory.
All right, so
It
everyone
seems
now
important
has
to Varel. We'll allow it to happen.
melted chocolate across their forehead.
Except
Excellent.
me. I'm smearing it across the grass. That's where I'm doing it.
Okay, so yeah, Nash is on his hands and knees smearing on the grass, I guess. So, all right. As this interaction continues, the house was previously cleaned by the two ghosts. You remember the bear couple, and not actual bears, but the bear couple, who have departed. One in particular, what was his name again? Sorry,
I don't remember.
I can't remember. Oh, yeah, Tomale. Tomale. What did I write here? Tomale.
Tomale.
I think I wrote that down wrong. Hang on. I have
Sounds like a sauce.
other placement notes. Anyways, those two ghosts have left. One was to confirm your kill about the bear, I believe. But you're otherwise alone in the cottage. It is getting towards late evening, and a quiet settles over the room.
Nash is going to he's going to have hurt ego, so he's going to go sort of sit in the corner somewhere and not talk to anybody right now.
Yeah, have we been shown to any particular rooms, or we've just kind of been left in the room we trashed and left to our own devices? Right?
You've been left to your own devices at this point. You haven't really been given a tour or anything like that. You're in that first room that you entered in. It looks kind of like a salon. There are a few couches. There's a fireplace. There's some portraits of, foresty landscapes on the walls. There's some very ornate, like, I don't want to say cupboards, but hutches and shelving, so to speak, not bookshelves, but shelves that contain like crystalware and plates and things of that nature. But nothing that jumps out as interesting per se. There's a door leading north. Actually, let me get my map here. Yeah, it's right here. So there's a door leading to the north and a door leading to the east. You're in the south, like west corner of the building. The structure that you saw from afar, and of course
When,
behind you is that side.
Ghost hosts return, I think we should inquire and see if there's a way for us to get expedient travel back. I definitely am ready to rest for the evening, but the sooner we can get back, the better.
So, table talk for a sec. Last time we talked about at daylight somebody running ahead with somebody else and someone staying back. How are we doing that?
Well, I think we were gonna see if we had a quicker way that they could provide, and then kind of judge in the morning. The goal is to get you the teleportation circle.
Mm-hmm.
We hid the dragon metal heart.
Right.
So the goal is for us to get back, find somebody who might know about the things we were told to do with the heart, and also see if we can find a quick way to get back and bring it back.
Yeah. So while you're on that topic, that's a good a segue as any to bring up a little something I've been working on in Roll20 for you guys. It's like work in progress, but I wanted a way to organize your objectives in a nice, clean way, or at least just have them somewhere. So if you look at Roll20,
All right.
I've created something of a dashboard.
Look at this.
It's kind of like overly text, but essentially the first tier would be our, what I've identified as requests, and I'll take back any feedback about, if they need to be changed or modified, or if they're not quite right or removed. So let me know. So now's as good a time as any as you're trying to figure out what next moves to make, what they are. And I know for audio listeners, they can't see it, but there is quite a bit here, but I think it would still be worth recapping if you want now, or if you want to RP a little bit before doing this, we can do that. What's your guys' preference?
I'm still blown
Everyone's reading it. Everyone's reading
Yeah,
intently.
everybody's
Yeah.
reading right now.
I'm blown away by
Like
the
I can read them all and share them all out with everyone if that's like in that way our audio listeners can also partake. Do you guys like that
Yeah,
idea?
we actually that's a great idea.
It's
Let's
not
do
a
that.
bad idea. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So for a recap on what I think are the party's missions as a group, okay? So first, to recap, it's to use Yoshalar's Dragon Metal Heart to construct the Rubistic Triangulosphere, a sophisticated object in perpetual motion made of impossible geometry, an item that never settles into one actual shape in 3D space. He advised that the Alhandari know the blueprint to build one, and that it should be brought to the hottest point on Earth to seal the planet from the Weir. The next party mission I have for you guys is you still have an objective to kill the principal from Katobalpraith in exchange for the items and knowledge of demonic artifacts. You're supposed to do it within 1,000 days. It's been roughly 100, give or take. Varel has declined this deal. Hope's had her soul brand removed, and Nash doesn't seem to have had of a brand as others do.
Mm-hmm.
Only Stanley's brand remains.
Oh, well.
And-
Look at me.
And Diantalis has mentioned that he's shared his Sylvan secrets with the principal to secure his release. The other one was Rescue Hope for the Nash Council. This is complete. Just remains to go back and, turn in, so to speak, or talk to them if you want. You have a side quest to get some mushrooms for the tieflings of the harbor. Those are the global party quests that I kind of have identified. Am I missing any big ones, or does that sound about right?
That sounds right to me.
Yeah, just as current ones. All right. This is where it gets a little bit iffy. I'm going to go through them quick because we could be here a while reading this. But basically, for Hope's quest, revenge in general. Find the second artifact for the voice at Pentel Vice. Rescue the soul of her mother from the grip of Katobalpraith. That hasn't been brought up a lot recently, but that's still out there. She's also been told that her father counts among the living at that time. Sorry, I skipped one, I believe. As Queen of the Tieflings, shepherd her people to safety. And then the last objective would be overthrow the gods for the voice as his one and only supplicant. For Varel, I have to find his destiny as Great Fang. Varel to me was the toughest one, Kyle, so you'll probably have to fill me in. But we also have a sort of objective about Bok Bok and raising him to honor and glory. And of course, you have the Golden Sands as something that you're working on to create an Adventurers Guild. I'll happily take any feedback on that. I'm just going to skip through to Scott. Scott, I have for you a sort of more personal quest would be to discover the truth about your past and to care for your family.
Yeah.
There's a lot of details in here, but just generally speaking, that's been something that you've been looking after. For Stanley, what I have here as goals would be to discover the fate of his father. I don't know if we've really assembled that on the show, but there is some sense that elves don't die. His father's backstory, he died on Earth. Might not mean he's dead or he's alive in that way. So that's a question that's, I think, of great concern to Stanley. If I'm not, and then there's also his father mentioned that there was a fate that he saw for his son from Nash about the Soleli Prime and whatever that is. And that's it. We're done.
Okay, very cool.
Did I miss anything? Probably not, but
Unless you have plans for this dildo I still have, then no, not for me.
who knows what the
The
dildos.
one
Yet to
thing.
be
I haven't-
revealed.
I haven't revealed everything. These are just what I've identified as like what I think your personal objectives are overall. But of course, you may have secret ones. They don't have to be listed here.
Mm-hmm.
And they can be changed if I'm off about them, right? Or I plan to update this as we go, so they're good reminders as we go forward.
Yeah, that's great. You basically gave me a pause menu, which I needed.
Yeah. This is going to be our dashboard. So as they get complete, I'll take them off. As we add new ones in, we can write them in, and I'll work on the UI. Anyway,
I like it.
if this, I know this is a big pause, but we probably won't do this ever again as we refer to the dashboard. This will just be here to remind you.
Okay.
But I thought it'd be good for our listeners too to
For
get a
the
summary.
for the deal, you listed here that it's been about 100 days. Are those our days or the counting 1,000 days?
Counting 1,000 days.
Didn't we miss 3 months by being in Sigil in world time?
No.
I thought there was a time jump.
Or did it,
There was a
did it-
time jump. There was 6
You've been
months.
very suspicious
I
about your
thought.
time in the Outer Planes because you just assumed the time difference would happen, but I never actually confirmed or talked about any of that. I think that was like
Okay.
an assumption you guys made because when you went to the Weir, time didn't behave concurrently.
Right.
And then that assumption was made about planar travel, but it was never actually answered by me.
But
And then
wasn't
we
there
took
a
6 months.
guaranteed 6 months that we took off?
Was there? I thought it was
After
3.
Val-
Pope's coronation?
I have 3.
Oh,
Is it 6?
I thought it was 3 also,
maybe it was only 3.
Oh.
but I do not count on my memory because I have terrible memory about that.
Yeah,
kind of
remember this is since you basically arrived at Tiet Kalak, because when you left Slave Town is when you made the deal, so it doesn't count the Dust Hill stuff. Yeah, that's why I had 3. I guess maybe a little more than 100 days. Now that I think about it, because the 3 months off alone. But I meant to put an approximate number because I don't have an exact count.
Sure.
So it's like an estimation. So we're at like 10%. I can move it to 20%.
I mean, I'm fine with that. I thought we were more like 25 to 50, so that's a bully for us.
Yeah.
Okay.
For me,
All right.
everybody else seems to be doing all right.
That could be. That's the one thing I was uncertain of, so I gave an approximate time.
Cool. Well, my primary concern would be these minuses I have, and hopeful a long rest will take care of them, but I also wouldn't mind talking to the ghosts when they return. about how that may have worked if they understand Diantalis, as he was also spectral.
Okay. So you'd like to await the return of the proprietors,
Yeah.
or the custodians, I should say.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat.
Okay. Nash, Hope.
Totally fine with that.
Sounds
Excellent.
good.
All right. So you keep yourselves otherwise occupied, waiting for the return of one of the bears, and within about 15 minutes, Tom Solar. I wrote the name down wrong. Tom Solar Bear, the male ghost elf, floats down from the ceiling. Just, hello, I'm returned. Wonderful news. I've confirmed your kill, Varel.
Did you doubt my word?
No, but one must verify these things. It's a matter of course. A malicious person might invent something, after all.
That would be most malicious, though you may have seen the bodies that were also in the area.
Yes, I did.
Can you explain them to me? Do you know their kind?
Well, those did appear to me to be the mages, probably from the Cadulet Council of Mages. They appeared dead to me. We probably should phone it in, yes? Do you know what happened?
They were under some sort of spell.
Ah. Did you cast the spell?
That is not my department. My two
No.
companions can tell you more about spells.
Oh.
They came to us initially in the form of deer that were able to speak.
Mhm.
And upon suspecting something might be amiss, we were able to dispel the magic and confirm what they were, but then they attacked us.
Well, they are mages. Sometimes their reasoning is not quite complicated. So they attacked you?
Yes, we believe they were acting in the services of an archfey.
Oh dear. He takes you all in. You're no ordinary visitors to the lodge, then. I know plants and mushrooms, and I know of the fauna of these parts, and I know a dead Barosaurus when I see one. This other matter sounds outside my area of particular interest. Let us notify the High Elf of what's occurred here. Just, I'll be right back. I'll send a carrier pigeon. And he turns around to leave.
Before you go, we have some concerns. This Cadulet Council of Mages, you said they were. Is it common for them to run around in the wilderness disguised as animals?
I shouldn't know such things. It's common enough for many of elves to take the shape of the beautiful animals of the forest. Not unheard of at all. But I'm not sure why the mages would want to do that altogether. That seems like an activity for the younger elves.
We
If one were
are
to-
finding. Oh, go ahead, Varel.
If one were to slay one of these animals, these mages in animal forms, would they transform back?
I do know that when you die, your soul is returned to the bosom of the Feywild. And there, you may serve to reseed and fertilize the land for future generations. I don't know about the particulars of animal sciences in that way, I suppose.
I may have eaten some elves then.
Oh. And Why, pray tell, would you do that, sir?
Well, if they were in the form of a raccoon, I fashioned them into shielding, as well as a deer into various other armaments.
Oh, I see what you're asking. No, there are in fact natural animals throughout the Feywild, but sometimes the elves of Elhendar, when they wish to explore the technique of many animals, they might change shape and live as a squirrel or a raccoon for a time.
Seems a bit risky in a place where people are known to be hunting the wildlife.
Well, there are a great many elves in Elhandar. They're all different and aspire to learn different things, but it's not altogether uncommon for there to be the thrill seekers among our kind.
Be sure to use a real pigeon then. Your highest ranking one.
Oh, yes, no, the pigeon will not be an elf disguised as a pigeon.
We should verify that, Stanley.
No need to verify it, it's ethereal.
There are
not even
traitors in our midst, dead sir.
Yes, I have to say we have in general been treated with a great deal of hospitality since arriving here, save of course for a group of elven mages who've tried to kill us. We are definitely concerned about who or what might be showing up to investigate. We're looking to get back as soon as possible. Do you have means by which we could make more haste than by foot?
Well, you know what? A group, I want to say a year ago, they came by. It's a group on a noble speeder. Do you know what those are? There's one, should be one in the barn.
I don't know what that is.
Oh well, it's a little device. It's fashioned of wood, and it's fitted with gravity repulsing surfaces along the bottom, made by the very mages that we're talking about. Actually, there's an extra one there. The party that came here left one, and we've been holding it here, and they haven't returned. I don't know if you're supposed to put this many people on one, but it will get you to where you want to go quite quickly. I assure you.
That'll do. For the night, what is the lodging situation?
Well, there are bedrooms and salon chambers. You can drop off your gear in the mud room, make yourself comfortable, sleep in the room. That's all this place is, really. There's the kitchen that Elenueva works in. And, I will help her from time to time. We are an equal couple of equal custodianship, but her role is generally more in the kitchens. And I take care of the grounds, ensure the place looks prim and proper. And then our guests have a good time, which, by the way, I was just wondering if there was any particular spirits that you enjoyed to drink. No pun intended.
For myself, at least, water for now is fine.
Oh, water, the dullest spirit of them all.
What would you recommend?
Well, we have a great red wine from the hunt of 2742. Yes, it's a sorbet. Wait, no, that's not it. Is it?
Sorbet isn't like an ice cream.
A sorbet.
Yeah, I shouldn't have
Kind of
tried it.
frozen.
A sorbet.
It's a rosé sorbet wine. You'll love it.
Oh, somebody maybe shouldn't have made fun of my water order, because now they have to make up something fancy.
Yeah. I'm the DM. I can do what I want.
He's in charge.
Would you care for this wine? It's quite good.
4 glasses.
Alan, 4 glasses for everyone. Gotcha. 4 glasses of. Okay, and that's drinks for everyone then. Any snacks?
Oh, there are plenty of those.
Do you need more bonbons, sir?
No.
Are you sure?
They
seem
might.
I liked him quite a bit. And he points to your face. And all of you seem to like them quite a bit. In fact, I can bring you more. I'll get more bonbons.
That's fine. Bring them more. I don't want any more. Thanks for what you had. I'm good.
We have different flavors, you know.
No.
Do you want to try something different?
I want nothing new, nothing different. I've been satisfied.
Nash, what would you like to drink?
The red wine is fine.
Yeah, you
have
don't
that.
have an issue with spiritual red wine
No.
that may or may not be frozen in texture.
I will admit to having some confusion as to the kind of wine this is, but I'll still. It's fine. Wine is wine.
Very good. I'll be back with the snacks, and I'm gonna get the pigeon, carrier pigeon going. And then he turns around and he disappears to the wall.
I don't trust that carrier pigeon. We shouldn't inspect it still.
Let me
I
ask
mean-
you this. Do you think Diantalis would actually stoop so low as to become a carrier pigeon?
I don't
We know
know.
he's egotistic.
I think he said yeet.
Turn in
It's
the good way.
beyond me trying to figure out exactly what Diantalis wants or is doing at the moment. I certainly thought I understood what his goals were, but all of this has really thrown me.
Forgive me. Dildo. Did Dildo die by your fist or the impact with the rock?
I believe probably the fist. He didn't seem like he was actually all that strong. I believe the fist killed him and left just the spectral body of Diantalis behind.
Could devise some sort of punching test for the pigeon.
I think the pigeon will be fine. I mean, Diantalis already knew where we were. He could very easily guess where we're going. It's not like any. If that pigeon goes off and tells him as opposed to whoever it is this ghost wants it to, honestly, it doesn't change our predicament any more or any less. If Diantalis is ready to face us again, he could be here tonight. If he needs more time to recover, he'll wait. And on the plus side, if the pigeon does get to who it needs to go to, then maybe we can have someone who will be an actual ally to talk to.
With that, Tom Solar returns, and with him, he has on a tray some wine glasses and a larger sort of mug with ice cubes in it in the water. And he floats over to you, Stanley. He says, "Your virgin spirits, sir."
Yes, thank you. I take it.
All right. Then he floats on over to Hope, and says, "Your 4 glasses of our fine red wine." As Hope gives him sort of no response, he looks around to the rest of the party members. Then, "I'll just leave this here," and puts the tray on a table that's next to his sofa. And then he turns around, floats up with a flourish, and says, "Adunavia would like to commence making you all dinner, but I'm wondering if you'll be staying. You mentioned spending the night, but this news of an archfey, well, I have to imagine someone will be by to speak with you very quickly."
We encountered the Archfey ourselves. We are in desperate need for rest. Between the Barosaurus, the mages, him, it's been a taxing day. I imagine we're
good.
not going to be in a state to face anything else without it.
Follow me, and I'll take you all to your private quarters. Yes. Very good. You've already been outside in the campgrounds. You can feel free to chop wood or fetch water or check out all of the wonderful mushrooms in the area at your leisure, of course. The house is yours. Feel free to walk around wherever you like. No place is off limits here. This is a public house. But come with me. We have assigned you some quarters. And then he floats and he spins around and then moves through the door leading to the north.
I will open that door and follow him.
Perfect. All right, so you open the door and you enter into another salon-looking room. But the difference between this one and the other one is that you see that there's a set of spiral stairs in the corner of the room leading up. And you see, when you enter the room, you see him floating up the spiral stairs.
All right, I'll follow as well.
Yeah.
You follow along, heading up the spiral stairs. Now it's really crowded and kind of small, so like you have to crunch up as you walk up these spiral stairs, and everything creaks in this old wooden house. And you creak. And when you get up to the second floor, you're opened up. You realize that the two rooms you're in on the second floor is just one big, large room. And then towards the back, there are these doors, looks like leading to like bedrooms that you can kind of see into these smaller compartments. But there's this big living common area where there's a small little kitchen and a big sofa and a big table set out, like a table with like 15 chairs, like just really long. You know, for a hunting party to probably make some dinner and talk about the day's hunt at this table. But the best part about this room is that it's all windows all the way along, except for the wall where the bedrooms are. So you have this perfect, almost 270-degree view out over the river and out over the forests of Elhandar. It's actually a really gorgeous view. And the ghost turns around, looks to you, and says, what do you think? Not a bad view of the forests here, eh? That's the Dankwood over there.
Better than I would have guessed.
Well, do make yourself at home. There isn't really any electricity here, so whatever lights you need to put on, you'll have to light up these lamps here. Just be careful with them. If you need more kerosene, just ring this bell, and he sort of floats over to an area where there's a drawstring on the ceiling, and he pulls it and it goes cling, 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 and it makes this like chime sound. I better remember that. I think Nash is going to pull it a lot. And I'm not. If I don't remember it, it's going to change. It'll be sad. But he brings it. It goes cling, 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 and he says, "Just pull this bell if you need anything from me at any time. I'm a ghost, after all. I don't sleep, so don't worry about waking me. The whole, REM sleep's a thing of the past."
If it wouldn't be too much trouble, might I ask for your assistance, seeing as you have the ethereal nature and don't need to sleep?
Oh.
Should anybody else approach this evening, do you think you could see to it that you give us advance warning before they are upon us?
Well, since you prefaced it that way, I assume you mean should any spirits approach, yes?
Not just spirits, but anyone. We've had a day of betrayals, and I would rather keep the trouble away from here if possible.
Well, no worries. Come with me this way, Stanley. Let me show you something. And he floats on over to this table, and this table then has these 8. It's just this weird. It looks kind of like a puzzly item. Like there's 8 rods sticking out on either side of this table service, and in between them, there's this green sort of cord. And as you get closer and look at it, you realize this cord is made of energy, and that they're 8 of them, and they have these cords. So a total of 16 rods, 8 on either side, and these cords between the rods. And then the ghost looks to you and says, Stanley, this here is a series of networked surveillance that the hunters who stayed here in the past have built. Should there be anything approaching, game or otherwise, this device will let you know.
Excellent. That will be very useful.
Absolutely. This is a safe place. And I guess I should just remind everyone here that it is a safe harbor for gatherers and such. Please, no violence on the Gatherer's Lodge grounds.
Well, that's certainly the way we'd like to keep things.
Ah, well, thank you. All right, then. I'm off to see to food accommodations, should you be hungry. Remember, the speeder's in the shed. You can take it. Doesn't belong to us. Just left here. And then the ghost sort of just floats down the floor. And outside of the window panes in this large lodge on the second floor, you can see that the sun is starting to finally descend over the treetops of this this incredible boreal forest.
Well, should we get food, refreshments, and then call it a night?
Let's do it.
I'm starving.
You should have eaten the bonbon. Would have held you over a little bit longer.
Well, I had to barf up those evil things, and everything I had in my stomach is gone now, so let's freaking eat. Says
Laurel, you look troubled.
Do not like this place. I do not understand why they would make such decadence for the woods and be unable to use anything but pigeons to communicate. This entire spaceship, is made without any logic.
I think we've seen a lot of things that don't really have logic.
That's true. This is a new form of it, though. At least the other one had demons, evil spirits, leading the way. Science, as the previous facility did. But this is some sort of harbor, a vacation spot, making it all the more useless.
Well, I think this is what happens when you get to be a society that can let your guard down.
We should drink to the success of our hunt, though.
Hope will pass around the 4 glasses of wine. When I was little and we would bring home successful kill, we'd all have a drink together. But here's to many more, and she'll hold up her glass.
Stanley will raise his glass, nod.
Same. I will flick it with my shoulder finger. My shoulder hand will go ding on the side of the glass, and then I'll drink it.
All right, you all drink your wine after a toast, or whatever. You guys toasted.
Yeah.
The room descends into silence again.
Yeah, I'll drink.
This contraption here shall be the mark of the watch. I will take first. Though I'm sure we must eat first, and we must await our host for that. All the same, I will not trust a soul who approaches this place, and I will question them thoroughly on sight.
As you should.
Tonight I'll be checking out that bike.
Ah, yes.
See how to drive it.
The speeder. Good. We must form a plan as to how we are going to find somebody we can communicate with. If we have this dragon metal, and it must be made into a certain object, that cannot be done by just anybody. Not now.
Well, the elder elf that introduced us all when we first got here, he seemed to have a message he wanted to give. I wasn't necessarily too keen on receiving it, but if anybody's going to know who we should talk to, maybe that's exactly who we should see.
What are we to do with it once it's made?
Take it to the hottest part of the earth, I guess. I don't know what exactly that would be, but surely with all their technology, they have some way of identifying that.
The hottest part of the earth is beneath it.
That makes no
Yeah.
sense.
I know, but imagine this. Varel, you understand the planet is a sphere. Like this ball, and I'll pull out my old ball. My old crystal ball thing. My source.
Uh-huh.
And I'll say,
We knew where one thing went. It went under the bed. I didn't know if there were other things you were keeping.
no,
for
they went all
a
with
rainy
it.
day.
The entire tackle went under the bed. But anyway, I'll say, like this ball, so is our planet and all other planets that we visit on this plane. And inside of each of them, at the very center, there is a molten core of heat that is beyond any other heat on the planet. Once in a while, when you see like a volcano or other eruptions on the surface, that's where this is coming from. It's sort of leaking from the middle, for lack of a better term. So,
No, I've been in caves. They're cold.
well, you're not deep enough. You got to keep going toward the center. It's kind of like trying to travel through. What would a lizard folk know? Like, where
Is
you-
this something you learned in the solar mines like twinkly vampires?
they taught us these things in when we were very young in classes of sorts. We were gathered together, and they would teach us basic science. And I don't remember a lot of it, but I do remember this part. And it's a bit, but Varel, imagine kill, and you've hunted, then you've killed it, and then you've let it sit for a bit. Where is the warmest part of that creature? It's in the center, right? If you open it up, it would be toward the middle because the outer edges have gone cold. That's a little bit like how this works, and we would have to find a way deep, deep, deep into the center of this sphere to find the source of heat you seek.
I
By
think
do-
we'll ask the elves, probably.
No, I require more explanation. By doing this, we stop the principle.
Yes.
Isn't it just banishing the weird though?
Well, right. You're not. I'm just saying, if you're looking, I'm not. No suggestions have come out of my face about how you're going to solve any of that. I'm just saying, if you're looking for the hottest part, that's where it is. That's all I'm saying.
If you are made by multiple people, were you the whole classroom, which is why you have so many memories?
No, no. I don't think so.
So you were made as a child and then grew up as being made of multiple people.
I mean, at this point, anything's possible, but I don't think so.
Do you remember being a little kid?
Yes.
Were you like a patchwork person then, or were you just a regular little kid?
I mean, I have memories of being young, but not specific ones, and I couldn't tell you the age. I just have memories.
We have a baseline, a story of a bed. When did that happen?
Well, that was way later. That was after this happened, and I'll gesture at myself, kind of sort of openly. But when my body began to fall apart and decay and become what you see today, that's where the famous bed is from. But my memories are they're a little not shattered, but they're broken. They don't have connective tissue. Like my time with our band of adventurers has connecting experiences and memories, and one point to another, I remember those 2 points and everything in between, but I can't say that of my younger years. I just remember parts and pieces and moments and faces and books and times, and that's it. And I don't know why that is. I just assume it's because that's what children remember. They don't have good memories of the younger lives. They just live it.
Well,
I don't know, Nash. I mean, sure, there are memories I have with not every moment in between from when I was young, but I definitely have clear memories of being young.
Yeah, and I don't. It's almost like my memories are ideas and not actual memories.
well, your human upbringings are disgusting and vile and full of milk transfer. This makes sense.
You're not wrong, but also, the things that I know and understand, I think I know where I got them, but I don't know for sure if that's where I got them. It's almost as if, imagine if you spent a month in a cave. You would remember being in that cave for a month. And I might have a similar memory, but I don't remember the time. I just remember that it happened. I don't remember the month. I remember being in the cave, and that's it. But I know how much time is passing here, or how much time has passed with us, or what will happen tonight and tomorrow, and that's all fine. It's just I don't have. My oldest memories are fractured. It is difficult to explain.
I'm gathering. Companions, you all know I will continue with you. Wherever we go, we face greater foes, and that I find most glorious. However, you seem without a purpose. We have found out that the principal must be stopped, or the weir must be stopped. Are these both the same goal? Are they different ideas? Once we contact the maker of this item, what do we do with it?
Well,
Brings up a good point. Sorry, Stanley. But if we close off the weir before we kill the principal, does that take care of the contract, or do we have to kill the principal ultimately?
I don't know. I can't imagine that Catobal Praith would be particularly happy if we closed off the weir, but I don't believe that was in the contract we signed, so we may have him trapped within his own logic and confines there. But I also don't understand why we were told that the principal is the weir's agent, yet you have someone like Catobal Praith wanting him dead. That still remains a mystery to me as well.
He may have gone rogue. He may have been a student, a son. I have a new theory. While we may obsess over it, the lack of Nash's genitals is an important factoid. It is only a point in time. The time where the time barf may have begun. Both the principal and Nash lack genitals. Therefore, I pose. If destroying the weir, or the portal to the weir, fixes the time barf, therefore Nash and the principal are the same person.
Whoa. I don't know how that's possible. Unless it's
I have to say I've wondered about this too. I recently came into ownership of a book belonging to my father, and he was visited by one of these future Nashes, as we tend to call them. And he actually learned quite a bit about me from this Nash. one of the details in his journal is that the principal created what Nash is. We heard from the dragon that Nash was a result of attempting to get the body that he had. It could be that they are more linked and more alike than we realize.
Linked maybe, but same person, no way. And I know we've seen multiple Nashes, and no one knows where the hell they came from. Neither do I. But I'm just saying, I don't think there's any clear connection personally between me and the principal. I would have felt something before. I would have known somehow. He would know too. Like, it's just, that would be too coincidental that we have any kind of shared origin. And if we do, neither is aware of it.
But I think we've come to the understanding that every possibility exists. Right? Everyone who's died is still alive somewhere. Even Stanley and I.
This is true. Except for me. I seem to be dead everywhere. People are always talking about, oh, Vorel died in my time. Which is a shame, because if I were to meet myself, I would embrace myself, for I am great. Nash, you have told stories of the Slow Peters.
Yes.
They are hot, yes?
Yes.
The hottest place, maybe. I believe that our destination is the solar mines. This is where we take the object deep within the earth.
Possibly. Maybe the elves know, and they can confirm or deny that. Right, we're above the planet. Could they scan it or something?
They've done it before. On the ship on our way up, they were able to scan the planet and tell us that Principal City had been destroyed. I'm sure they can do something to tell us where it's hot.
This is the most Stanley thing I've heard all day. Well, then our plan remains the same. We talk to the elves as soon as we can, and we work out all of that, plus the whole Dragonheart issue and how to get it home.
Now, I think this is folly. We must keep it secret. Stanley, half-elf. Punchy dildos. Elf. Diantalis clearly has a proclivity, a desire to reside inside elven bodies. Therefore, we cannot trust a single one. Except for Stanley, because he's fought back and done it before. Good job, Stanley.
Thank you, but I would like to point out that you should also be very careful with me. I'm the target that seems to be the highest priority to him. That said, he did an extremely bad job of impersonating me last time, and you saw through it very quickly, Varel, so I'm sure he won't do it again.
Yes. I'll be watching you. Baby.
I do think that there are 2 stops we should make along the way before we seek out elven help, which we are going to need to some degree. I think we should warn Hope's people. Diantalis knows the history there. It's very possible that he could make them a target. And I think knowing that he might be headed their way would be beneficial. And I also think, Nash, it might not be a bad idea, especially once you have the ability to teleport and move easily, to get your family as far away from here as possible. I think they are also likely to be targeted.
On that, I agree. Apparently, they can just turn themselves into cookware and no one to know the difference, but still, we should get them out of here.
Eminil is one of the few people here who would actually know the history of Diantalis, as I have spoken about him to her. She will at least be able to hold the right level of concern for your people, Hope.
All right.
Sounds like a good plan.
Yes. We should get one of the ships. Scan it ourselves. Put all the tieflings on board. Get the many Nashes, badass tea. Make an army. A space army. I could be king of space.
Space is very big, Varel.
I've only seen so much of it.
Yeah, I don't know if you can manage to be king of it. But I admire your willingness to try.
I also admire the desire to cut elves out of this plan completely, but don't forget the rubistic triangulosphere needs to be made by them. Some point we're going to have to trust someone.
Yes, this object requires a new name. One that doesn't stumble so much. Let us call it Ruby.
Very well.
The Ruby...
Ruby needs to be made by elves.
I don't like it.
Well, this is why I suggested earlier, and I still think it might be the best plan. Diantalis wants me. If I am not with you, and he knows I'm not with you, his desire to impede your progress disappears.
How do we know he's just not hell-bent on whatever revenge he wants? And if he, even with you out of the picture in a blind rage, he'll just take out everything you ever worked with or stood for or knew.
He could have. Look at how he handled all of us. That was not a fight we were going to win. Not without that dragon's help. He has sat at the table with your family, with all of us there, and could have struck at any moment and been just as successful there as he would have been in a cave.
So why do you suppose he didn't?
I think he wanted to do what he always wants to do. He wants to do it deceptively. I also think he saw an opportunity in the arm that Hope has attached to her, but he was willing to give that up to get me, which is why I would bet that he would come after me instead of continuing to pursue Hope. He couldn't have known Hope was going to even be here. Hope, you didn't know you were going to be here.
No. We could also try a decoy at some point if we needed to. 2 Stanleys in 2 different places. And Hope will use the necklace to transform into Stanley. And then transform back.
I think this is something we're going to have to figure out. He's not going to stop. He has 2 clear objectives that are right now right next to each other. And he has to know that next time there isn't going to be some giant dragon tearing into him to stop him. All we can really hope is that we've bought a little bit of time. I never thought he was going to be that strong. That said, tomorrow I think we have a plan.
Yes, but also let's go back to the fight. Varel, you screamed out, "Radiance? Radiant? What was that?"
He was weak.
He didn't seem very weak.
To that radiance. If you look for further explanation, I cannot give it. I merely listen to the eye.
Well, physical attacks clearly just passed directly through him, but I did do a spell that calls upon light, just as it can call upon dark, and I assumed that would work, and it seemed exceptionally effective against him. I think you've done similar things with your bullets in the past, Hope.
Yes. So we could also add to the list, find weapons that are a bit special.
So that is why he fought us in a cave. And as long as Stanley is in sunlight, we know it's not him. Unless he's hiding inside him.
I don't know that sunlight is necessarily going to stop him. He was running around in sunlight when he was in the body of Dildo.
Right. But he was in a cave when he came out. So, I agree. Fine. Do we still have those weapons, Hope?
Which weapons?
The one for Radiance. The bullets.
I would need the belt, but the belt was gone.
The belt is still alive. I can reveal this, and I stand up. I gave it to Badass T.
Yes.
Okay.
So we go to
Well,
Planet
Hope-
Nash.
Hope doesn't know who Badass T is.
Have I not?
No, she explained it because we were talking about how it was what's his name, another alternate version of her old boyfriend, right? Of Tedna.
I don't think it was explained, but I guess you said that, and I hope you heard that.
Oh, but I remember him saying this though. I remember Kyle's character
Yeah.
Varel telling Hope this thing.
Did it? Did that happen?
Yeah, 'cause I remember
I
you-
think
you-
he just
your
said
former-
her boyfriend, but I don't know if she necessarily knew what that meant.
It happened in the same breath you guys totally explained the fight where I heard Varel shout Radiance, which I totally didn't because I was in the bubble. I just remembered that. So it was explained later. Let's go with that.
Okay.
Radiance. Nash.
What?
Smaller than space, then.
Uh,
King of the Sun.
yes, there you go. There are millions just like it, billions perhaps, but you are the king of yours.
But less than space.
Yes. But to everything
King of
within the
the
light of
sun.
that sun, they won't care if it's less than space. All that will matter is that the sun's king is there.
And the sun flames, yes?
Yes.
So, we quest to turn my flames into the power of the sun. And then I can punch him with the sun.
There is nothing I would like more than to see you do that, Varel. Do you have a particular plan or idea on how you're going to accomplish this?
We take all the tieflings and we put them on a spaceship. We go to planet Nash. And then we decide from there.
Okay. So, how about this? How is this for our plan and agenda? Tomorrow, we take the speeder, we take it to the Tiefling settlement, we meet with them and they'll let her know what's going on. We find out if they want to come with us or if they want to stay behind. That can be their decision. They'll probably just do whatever Hope tells them to do. Then, we travel, we collect Nash, we collect his family. We find the teleportation sign for this place so we can get back if we need to. And then we either take a spaceship. I don't know how to fly to Planet Nash, so I would think we would teleport to Planet Nash. Take anybody who wants to go with us. We ask the big wall Nash if he has any ideas on how to make you more radiant.
More or less,
like
yes.
this. And then we bring the ruby to the solar mines.
Oh, we have to ask the elves to help us build it. Well, also, we have to go get the heart at some point. But we can always do that after we drop people off. That's why we're getting the teleportation sigil, so we can come back.
Excellent. Excellent. We have a heading. Spirits, commence with dinner.
There's no response.
Somebody ring the bell.
I'll do it. I'll jump up and yank it.
All right, Nash jumps up and pulls the bell, and it goes clang, 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 clang. And that'll take us to the break.
Uh-oh. It feels like we're...
On the clang, 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 clang. We are at break.
That is a
We'll see you in 5
cliffhanger.
minutes.
A clang hanger, everybody.
Clang.
We'll be back in under 10, let's say. But before that, probably. So come on back. We'll be seeing you in a second. Here we go. All right, we're back for the second part of tonight's adventure. Bo, take it away.
All right, our 4 companions are in the second floor of the Gatherer's Lodge in a nice, large commons area. They've just rang the bell. Well, Nash has just rang the bell. Clang, 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 clang. And the sound of the bell reverberates through the house. Within seconds, Tom Solar Bear, one of the custodians of the Gatherer's Lodge, a ghost of an elf, emerges from the floor up to your eye level, Nash, and says, "Hello, you rang. How can I help you? Changed your mind about dinner?"
No, shit, I forgot what we were asking him. What were we getting him for? Oh, no, it is for dinner. We're gonna eat. We need to eat.
Yes, very good. Did you bring anything in from your hunt?
I didn't.
I can prepare that for you.
Varel, do you have anything? Dead meat?
I have the tooth.
I don't think we can cook that.
Well, yeah, I don't think would make fine food. It's fine if you don't have it. I will fetch something from the pantry. Do you guys like pork? Pigs?
I love pork.
I'm gonna say sure.
All right. Lizard folk, can the lizard kind, do they eat pig?
I don't know if I've had pig before. Bring it forth, and I will test it.
Well, I will make some pork chops, and I have a stew that we've been prepping since your arrival. Elenueva was certain that you'd be hungry. So I will bring stew up for all of you, and pork chops.
Have you heard from the pigeon?
I'm not expecting a reply. I simply sent word to report. I imagine if anyone wishes to come talk to you, they know where to find us. Address hasn't changed. More wine? I'll bring the bottle. How about that?
That's fantastic.
Very good. I'll be back in 10 to 20 minutes.
Thanks, Bill. What was your Tom? What's your name?
Tom Solar.
Tom Solar. Can I call you Tom?
Why, of course.
All
It's
right.
the short form for Tom Solar.
Thanks, Tom. So far, your ghostly attention has been fine. Bonbons notwithstanding.
I'm delighted to hear that our guests are enjoying themselves. I want to make you all happy. And then he descends through the floor.
Nice.
You changing your tone on Ghost there, Nash?
No. I'm just saying, so far he's earned a little trust, and if we're to eat tonight, I don't know what choice we have.
I mean, you've had wine. You're letting him prepare food now. You survived the bonbons despite your best efforts, and
I may have overreacted. I'm just, it never hurts to be cautious. Ghosts typically are not to be trusted. But we're
how many ghosts have you encountered in your life?
I don't know. A handful. Maybe 5.
Really?
Maybe 5, 6 ghosts, yeah. Counting these two.
And were they all different?
Some were terrible. And some were just there to annoy me.
Which one was the worst and why?
Well, there was this one where all night, this is years ago, this is in the Solar Mines, and again, I couldn't tell you when, but all night, one night, there was just this horrible sound and the laughter of children. Like that. And it was horrible, and I hated it, and I would wake up in the middle of the night hearing these children laugh, and my heart would just be pounding through my chest as if to burst. And that's no fun for anybody. So, yeah, that was the most annoying. I hated that. And they didn't do they couldn't do anything to me, but
They're just annoying. You know how it is. Like whatever annoys you, imagine that. But for me, it's ghosts. They're dicks.
Yeah, I can see how that's way worse than the ghosts we fought while Hope was on her little soul journey. That sounds really awful. I'm glad you made it out of that alive.
Well,
Didn't turn you old like it did Varel.
No, I mean like the basic ghosts, like the ones that don't really have. They're just annoying. Like the ones here are getting work done, and that's cool. But there's a lot of ghosts who just are dicks. They're just there to annoy. They're a little bit like, I don't know, like they're like goblins. No offense to Bok, but just there to drive everyone crazy. So I don't trust them. But they're earning my trust here. They've been nice so far. I mean, I'm movable when I need to be.
Well, that's mighty big of you, Nash. Very, very good.
I think you got more answer than you asked for.
I
Yep.
absolutely did. If they start howling in the middle of the night, well, then we'll have something else to talk about. But right now, they're fine. They're fine.
So 10 minutes has gone by as Nash has been over-explaining this whole thing. And Tom Still Bear emerges through the floor with a plate of food. How it passed through the floor, you have no idea, but it seems to have emerged intact. And he floats up through the floor, and he makes his way to that large table with 15 or so chairs and begins setting down a plate of pork chops. And the pork chops are steaming, and they're sizzling, and there's like chard on them, and the room spills with the smell of meat. Delicious. And then he sets down 4 large bowls of stew in different places at the table, and then places the bottle of wine upon the table and turns to you and says, "There you are. Dinner fit for the finest hunters this lodge has ever entertained. Congratulations again on your kill of Chester. We're very proud to host great hunters here."
Well said.
Is there anything else that I can do for you, fine warriors?
No.
Do you guys? What do you do at night? Do you sleep or do you go somewhere?
Well, I don't really experience the world in day and night like you do.
So you guys aren't going to be up like yapping and stuff or doing shit like cleaning the kitchen or whatever, right? You're going to go.
From time to time, Aluneva and myself get into deep philosophical discourse on various subjects of the day. The mortals still have quite a few open moral philosophical questions that, in their short lives, even short elf lives, they just don't seem to get around to. So we do spend much of the evening talking about some of these fine questions of philosophy. We should write some of them down sometime, probably share them.
But you don't do it loudly. You're just sort of talking, right? It's just to yourselves, and we're not going to... You're not going to float through our door.
We won't disturb you if that's what you're concerned about.
Okay, that's all I'm
But
concerned
I
about.
just simply didn't want to lie. We probably won't be sleeping. We're ghosts. We don't sleep. We do spend a lot of time, appreciating one another. So we may be doing that, but we'll try to be a little more quiet now that we know guests are here.
Did you get more of an answer than you intended there, Nash?
Yeah, a little bit. Just making sure we can get the rest we're here for. That's all.
Oh, well, that's my priority too. Our goals are aligned, sir.
Fair enough. Where's dinner?
Oh, it's on the table.
Oh,
You saw
shit.
me put
Let's
it
eat.
there, right?
Did you? I don't remember.
Yes.
All right.
Did you need me to help you seat you in the
Nope.
chair, sir?
Nope, I'm good. I'm good from here on out. Just go do your other things. No floating forks or anything weird like that. Just if you're going to be here, you got to be visible. That's the only rule I have.
No floating forks.
Yeah. I just,
The ghost quickly zips over to the table and picks up a couple of the forks, puts them in a ghost pocket, and then zips away. No floating forks.
Yeah, sort of not really what I meant, but it's fine. Just no tricks.
He's gone.
Okay.
He
And I'm going
floated away.
to just start eating.
Yeah, he turns around and he just departs as you keep talking to him because he sees you're not stopping saying things, so just leaves. Good call, John.
All right. Well, I'm going to eat.
All right. Nash immediately seeing the ghost leave. Nash just turns around and immediately starts eating.
Mm-hmm.
Probably more difficult without forks.
Yeah. Well, no.
Oh, there's spoons. No, he took some of the forks. There's still forks remaining
Oh,
on the
okay.
table.
Yeah, he thinks I meant floating meant like not currently being used. And what I meant was some trickery ghost walking by going, "Ooh, it's a fork floating," and not. You know what I mean?
Yeah. We couldn't have had that.
No haunting me, guys.
None of that bullshit. Jerks.
All right. So the
Take
four
my
of you
seat,
sit down,
start
have a
eating.
wonderful dinner, and we can talk about the long rest. I think there were certain activities that wanted to be done before rest occurred. Hope I remember saying she wanted to check out the Noble Speeder. Does anyone else have a task they'd like to resolve before sleep, or would like to just get to sleep?
Stanley wants to talk to Hope, so he would probably go with her when she goes to check out the speeder.
Okay.
Nash
And I would
would-
want to
yeah.
inspect the surveillance equipment.
Okay.
Nash is going to bed.
All right, Nash, you hit the sacks. Sacks. There's only one sack.
Yeah, only one
Hit the
sack.
sack. Okay, Varel. Let's start with you. So dinner's eaten. You guys can just leave your stuff there. So you'd like to learn more about the surveillance equipment, essentially?
Yes, how to use it. I was going to take first watch.
Okay, so let's do a check. It will be an investigation check or Arcana check, please.
All right. Both are 0. Let's do investigation.
Mhm.
13.
All right. Your examination of the device informs you that the device is tethered to what would be probably sensors, outside of the hut you're in, essentially, and that you can tell that when there's movement, that the various strings will vibrate in order to inform you that there's movement in a particular area. The area you see the strings as you sort of examine it and look closer. It bears the resemblance of what would be the geographic depiction of the lodge and its surrounding area. And you're still not quite sure because you haven't tested it how it might work. But your intuition tells you that it's going to indicate a location when movement is detected.
Excellent.
All right, perfect. So Hope, do you try and slink off on your own, or are you just saying like, all right, bye, I'm going to check out the speeder?
She would tell everyone she's going to grab a beer and then head to the garage.
Okay, so Stanley, this is your opportunity to respond, or not.
Okay, so if I didn't know she was going to the garage, I would just say, Hope, before you turn in for the evening, would you stop by so we could speak?
Yeah, you can come too if you want.
Sure,
2 beers then?
that's fine.
Hope will grab 2 beers.
Okay, from the ghost.
Yeah,
Somewhere.
she'll ask the ghosts where they keep them, or if
Okay,
they-
do you want to role play the whole ghost interaction, or do you want to just say it happened and skip ahead?
I think we can say it just
Yeah,
happened and go.
Okay, cool. I'm a little sad, but that's fine. So
Anything
I'm
witty
kidding.
planned. I'm sorry. It would just be a general. Have a
I'm
beer.
kidding.
Thank you.
Sometimes I get caught up in details, and I'm like, oh, but you didn't. Where's the beer from? All right, so you guys both make your way downstairs to the main floor, exit the building, and there's dew on the grass as it's nighttime, and the stars are super bright. You realize now that you're looking up at the stars that you can almost make out the ghostly outline of like a part of the biodome up into the sky, because what you're looking at is space from space on a space station. It's super clear and really bright, so there's this like blue dim glow over everything, and the 2 outlines of Stanley and Hope walk across from one building out to a shed in the back, and you can hear the babbling waters of the lake going like in the background. Hope, you approach the shed, and this is old, and like unlike a lot of the elven structures, this is made of just like regular untreated arcanely wood. It's very old and blackened and rotted, all the 2x4 planks that are in there. As you get close to it, you see that the door is slightly ajar, and inside it's just black. You can't, even with your dark vision, you can't see inside. You stop there a moment, deciding what to do next.
Cool. She'll hand Stanley her beer and start to push open the door.
Okay, you push open the door, and there's no real windows inside this barn. There's a little bit of moonlight coming in from the slivers in the ceiling. Even with your dark vision, you see hay all over the ground. You see bales of it off to the side. You see a workbench, and you can make out like tools not put away, just sort of, a bench that's just dumpstered full of like protractors and rulers and an axe, and there's like a table saw in one part of the building. So you see all kinds of junk everywhere. There's ropes and cables and wires hanging off all kinds of pegs in the 2x4s in the wall. And as you scan around and look, you see in the back corner, leaning upright, a large slab of solid elder wood, ornately carved with elven faces and leaves all over it. It has a bulky side, and then it has these two long poles, like tree branch poles, jutted out from the bulk of the square of this shaped object. And you definitely can see that there are these metal handles affixed and bolted into the large slab of wood, and each handle has like these grips that like they close like this on them.
Nice.
And upon the large slab of elder wood, you see that there's a seat installed into it. It's padded and like chestnut, sort of red brown. And in the seat, there's a metal like gas tank opening thing. Like, how, like, I don't know if you've ridden an ATV or something like that, where they have the gas tank right in the top, and you can kind of twist it off, pour the gas in, and put it back on. So there's one of those in the elderwood as well.
Cool. She'll motion to get her beer back, open them up, take little sips here and there, and start just doing general maintenance, trying to see how it works, how many fit.
Yeah, to start, you'll have to set it down on the ground because it's leaning up against the wall upright. It's a pretty heavy piece of wood. But you'll have to set it down to start working on it.
Cool. We'll set it down.
All right. You're going to do it on your own? So strength check or athletics check, please.
I would assist if it seemed heavy.
Okay. With advantage.
16.
Okay, you set down the large slab of wood with Stanley's help onto the ground, and it lands with a heavy, like, very heavy. It sinks into the hay pretty deeply, crushing it. You hear this crunch. So if you'd like to investigate what it does, you can use your vehicle engineering check to examine the vehicle, or make an Arcana check.
14. Vehicle engineering.
Okay, so what you can tell, this doesn't look like a vehicle. It looks like an ornately carved, beautiful slab of wood with a large rectangle body with the seat and gas tank and the handlebars installed, clearly meant to be ridden atop like a motorcycle, but it has no wheels. It's like it's a wheelless car just lying a slab on the floor of the barn. It has the two longer tree poles hanging out the front, and you can tell that like the propulsion would be done with the handle grips. You also notice that there's little wooden footrests on either side of the elder slab. As you sort of look on it and try and get on, you notice that one of them they have brake pedals, which they don't look like brake pedals. It's like wood engineered into wood, but as you put pressure on them, you kind of feel this. You hear this like little sound, like, and you feel a tightening in the body of the elderwood, that like there's some sort of braking mechanism on this. The other thing you do notice is that there's a gemstone embedded in one of the handlebars, really small, and it's like you think you can click it like it's a switch.
Cool. She'll try the switch.
Okay, you try the switch and you hear boom, whoa, 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 and immediately I need you to make a dexterity saving throw, please.
7.
All right. Immediately it floats off the ground, and there's these little pads under the elderwood, and it goes whoa, 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 whoa. But you're not used to controlling it, and it bucks and throws you off, and you fall down backwards. You take 8 bludgeoning damage from the fall as the the noble speeder shoots out from underneath you and lands into the side of the barn, crashing the side of the barn open, and it lands in the trees.
She'll pick her beer back up off the ground where she had placed it, and she'll nod at Stanley and take a drink.
It's definitely fast.
I think it'll get us where it needs to go, where we need to go. Want to talk?
Yes, Hope. I've been thinking since you returned, and I think perhaps I haven't been exactly fair with you. Do you remember? I mean, it wasn't too long ago, but when we went down and we met Quizquaz for the first time,
Yeah.
I keep thinking about it, and I remember that moment, all of us standing before him, him promising us deals. And I remember stepping up and making a decision for everybody without asking and attacking him. Damn near got myself killed doing it too, for that matter. Because even then I knew you do not make deals with demons. And yet, here we are, desperately trying to get a deal made with a demon broken for myself. And I wondered, why is it I was so resolute then, and I wasn't with Kotobel Praith? And it wasn't because I wanted power, and it wasn't because I wanted some artifact that was going to make me the strongest. I didn't care about any of that at the time. The only thing I cared about in that moment was that we were hundreds and hundreds of feet below the earth with no way back up. For all we knew, hundreds, thousands of zombies between us and the surface. And there was no way that you all, including myself, were going to make it without help. So I did a thing that I knew was wrong because I thought it might save the lives of my friends. And when you tell me that that's the reason you did what you did at the White Tower, I recognize that maybe we're not all too different in that regard. But here's the other thing I know, Hope, is when Dion Talus took over, and I began hearing his whispers in the back of my head, the very first thing he tried to corrupt me was, with my help, you'll be able to help so many people. Corruption gets its hooks in you by telling you that you're going to be the one to do it for good, that you're going to be the one to do it for the right reasons. I'm not going to tell you to just chop off that arm and leave it here. It's obviously something powerful and dangerous. People are going to come after it, and you're going to be a target anywhere you go until it's resolved. But whatever path it's laying before you, keep in mind it's probably going to tell you that what you're doing for the right reasons, for the right purpose. But just like with Dion Talus, it was a lie. It is a lie. Stay true to who you are, Hope. But otherwise, I'm sorry for how I acted, and it's genuinely nice to have you back.
Thanks. It's nice to be back. And you're not the only one who's done a lot of thinking about this whole thing. With the arm comes a dead god, a forgotten god. I'm not sure. He follows me. he talks. I mean, you had Diantelis, right? So you know how that goes. He asks that I do things, and if I don't, something, he can turn off the power that the arm has. But if the arm comes off, I die. So that's where I'm at right now, trying to figure out how long I should go before this all ends. He's probably hearing this too, I'm sure. But that doesn't mean it all has to be bad. When I was gone those 2 days, I got some things. There's this ring, right? The teleportation, that's how I came back. I was thinking we might be able to find your dad with it.
How would that work?
As far as I can put it together, if I try to call something to me that's on another plane of existence, it will open a portal to that thing. Unless that thing is too powerful, it won't come through. But I don't think your dad would be that powerful. So we might be able to find him that way, almost immediately. The unfortunate part with that one is that I have to do something bad. It needs blood. So there's the trade-off, right?
Well, I don't know if my father's on another plane of existence or not. He died just down there on Earth.
Yeah.
But there's a lot about my father I didn't know.
Yeah.
I didn't know we had all of this. There was a part of me that finding out that knowledge was so comforting. To gain a better understanding of who he was. But at the same time, he knew exactly what I was going to go through, and he still chose to walk that path. I don't know if I can forgive that.
I'd say give it more time. Maybe he knows what the outcome is. And that's all what made it worth it.
But look at this. Stanley pulls out the dictionary. I look at this, and it looks the way I think it should look. I think. But I see frayed edges, I see creases, I see places where it's worn away, pages that are torn, yellowed more than others. And I think, is that how it looked before? Is that really how it looked? Or is this a book that belonged to another version of me? A version of me that clearly went through the same thing, clearly wound up in a place holding this book and didn't make it. That me, his father, gambled the same way and is dead for it. I've seen my own dead body. So have you, Hope. I stood over myself. I know who I am, but I also am surrounded by evidence that his gamble didn't pay off plenty of times. Did he know that part?
Hope will go quiet, kind of take a long swig from her drink. You know, when he died, I thought I would have died with them. Understand or something very similar. I was that died.
Am I the only one getting lag?
No, I'm getting it
I
too.
gave it to.
'Cause I don't want to interrupt at all.
I switched I switched
Oh.
to Central, so maybe it'll be better.
Oh, all of a
Oh,
sudden,
eh.
we're having
Okay.
problems.
All right, hang on. Try talking now.
Test 1, 2, 3.
There you go. You got
Okay,
it.
you're good. I'm really
good.
sorry. It's just that you cut out just for that last segment. If you can take it from the top, if it felt like it was a really important moment.
I know,
I'm fucking
it was
furious,
the worst
but
part
Oh
please
no!
do it again.
Okay, so starting where?
at the beginning. It started right away.
The
Well,
beer, drinking the beer.
after the
Just the last dialogue after the last thing John said, you started talking.
Yeah.
Okay.
Pretty much from there.
yeah, you're talking
Okay,
about
but
other.
I'm good now.
Yeah, you were talking about other deaths that affected you. We just it kept
Yeah. So
popping
he
in
just
and out.
talked about his thing, and you were going to share yours.
Okay, cool. So we'll
About your family. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So Hope will take the long swig from the beer. She'll be quiet for a bit, and then she'll start up again. That when my family died, I was positive I should have died with them. I didn't understand why I was still alive. I'm sure you know something very similar. Your family died as well. I wandered the wastes. I killed a lot of people indiscriminately, taking out the rage. Maybe somebody could kill me instead because for some reason I still couldn't die. And then I got hit with the rocket and I almost died. And we did die in the laser, but we came back, so we didn't die. And then I almost died putting the arm on. I had nothing left. It was a miracle it even attached. But all of this culminates in now and right here. And maybe those other versions of us died so that we could get to this point. So that we're the ones that make it all happen, whatever it is. And then Hope will go quiet again.
Stanley will nod, think about it. Then he'll just lift the beer. Well, to whatever's next then.
I think a motorcycle ride, yeah?
Indeed.
And then Hope will clink it
Yeah.
and start motioning to the motorcycle.
All right. Well, give yourselves both inspiration. That's applause on behalf of everyone listening. That was great.
All I have is children going. I could have played that again, but
That was great too.
didn't seem appropriate.
It's just too soon to give you inspiration after you use the last one. That's all. There's a rule about that for DMs. In case you're wondering about the fairness of all this, Scott.
It's all good.
All right. So, what you want to get back on the noble speeder?
Yeah, and take it, if I can, with Stanley on it, a ride around to get a feel for it, see how it drives, how it turns, how much weight it could possibly hold.
Okay. So Hope walks into the bush, and she clambers on top again of the seat and turns it on again, and this time prepared for the jolt that's going to occur. You see her, Stanley, like on this wooden slab float up, and if you're picturing a speeder from Star Wars, it's kind of what it looks like, but it's made entirely out of elven magic wood, and there's a nice glowing green sort of underneath the bottom, and you just see Hope sort of level out and go flat, and she just sort of floats it towards you, and then motions for, reaches her hand out for you to come on board.
All right, I climb on.
All right, you climb on board, sitting behind Hope and gripping her tight, and she looks to you and says,
Let's go.
all right, and then she hits the accelerator, and immediately you start flying through the forest. And Stanley, you are going like an insane amount of speed. The trees are wishing past you. Hope you're loving it. You got your head down, and I don't think I've ever had as much fun riding in a vehicle as you are now, weaving through the trees and flying all around the forest. Where do you go? What do you do? How long do you just enjoy the ride?
Yeah, let's see. Want to see it on straightaways, how fast it could go. Want to do some sharp turns, some weaving through the forest, some stopping.
Okay. All right, and any information you want from me about that? I don't have any specific miles per hours for you, but
It's totally
it goes
fine.
it goes fast. It controls really well.
Okay.
You're also aware it's really dangerous, and if there's a delicate balance being on the machine, and you could easily see that you could hit a tree or get hit and then spin out. It's a very dangerous vehicle.
Good thing we had those beers before going. And she'll drive it back. To the lot.
These we're professional role players. It's a story of fiction. Please do not drink and speeder. Thanks, everyone. But you drive around. You only had a few glasses of wine, a couple beer. You're fine. And also, it's D&D. It's medieval times. No one cares about drinking and driving. You can do it all you want here. You weave through the trees and get a feel for the vehicle. It controls well. It's fast. It's prone probably to very high risk, high reward, prone to accidents for sure. And you're not quite sure what it's powered with, so you don't know if it'll go infinitely or not. It clearly has a fuel tank on it, so you're not sure what's required. But Stanley, I don't know if you're loving this or kind of like, I don't. Stanley seems like he'd probably be okay with this kind of thing, but.
Yeah, I would imagine high decks and all of that probably holding on pretty good. But that said, when we do depart, he's probably doing the drunken walk from going that speed and never having done it before. So he's probably having a little trouble once he finds it back on the ground.
I'll pull off for her shoulder for Stanley to hold on to as they walk back to the lodge.
All
Yep,
right. So
thank
if
you.
anyone's watching from the lodge, they can see a tiefling and a half elf stumbling from the elven speeder that they just parked and make their way back into the house. You saunter in, pushing the door open, bringing Stanley with you. You both sort of like slowly up the spiral staircase, trying to help each other up. At one point, Stanley's about to lose his footing. He's a little dizzy and a little lightheaded from the wine. Make a dexterity saving throw, please. Stanley.
A 17.
Okay. He's still an elf, so you don't really fall. But there's a moment where it looks like you're about to fall, and Hope's got a good grip on you, and you kind of look at her, and she's just like, "All right, keep walking," and then you continue
He's
your
just sort of lightheaded.
you continue
And
your way up to-
talking much louder than intended, because I imagine it's pretty loud as well.
Oh, you're a bit drunk. Okay, are you talking loudly?
Not drunk, but just like the air rushing
So
by and the sound of the
Nash is
engine.
going. Nash is going to sleep. Do you speak with a disregard to his sleep, or no?
Not intentionally, but he probably did come in going, "Yes, Hope, I think that will do very well. Thank you."
Okay, Varel. I don't know where Varel's at. I assume Varel's with the machine still, so he's not. He's probably just ignoring you. But Nash, you need to know that Stanley has roused you from your sleep. You hear him talking and stamping up the stairs.
What does this mean for my rest state stats wise?
Well, it's interrupted it so far. You have to start over. You have to get 8 hours. You have to get 6 hours like uninterrupted sleep, and you've already had like an hour interrupted. So you have to start over.
I'll go, Stanley, damn it! We're trying. I should have been worried about you, not the ghosts. I'm trying to sleep.
You hear that through the wall.
Sorry, Nash.
All right, go to bed.
The speeder is really good. I think it's gonna do a good job.
That's fantastic. You could have told me in the morning. Good night, and I'll try to go back to sleep. I'm gonna put the pillow over my head too.
All right. As you walk into the commons, you can look out over the whole vista of the beautiful forest. It's nighttime though, but you see the moonlight shine off the top of the trees. Varel is just ignoring you. He's just looking. He's staring at the device on watching the device, and then occasionally looking out the window when he thinks he hears, like a dog when they think they hear something. like he just kind of goes, and he holds it for a while. Then he comes back and he looks back at the device. That's the only two things he's doing right now.
All right, I would start to head towards bed, but I would tell Varel that I'll take a watch as well. So just let me know, and make my way.
He goes, yes, watch. Okay, Stanley. That's what he says.
Then head to bed.
Did I nail it? Did I nail it, Varel?
It was perfect.
Big thumbs
Spot
up.
on.
He's very engrossed in surveillance, so he's just like, yeah, I got it. Perfect. All right, so everyone benefit from a long rest. You have gone to sleep. You've taken your turns over watch. The night passes without event, and all of you. Well, I'm not sure where you exactly went to sleep, Varel. I assume it's outside under some stuff. But maybe not. Where did you sleep?
I would have probably stayed inside in order to respond to my companions. If perhaps a sofa with the cushions removed could be stacked on top of me.
Yeah, for sure that can happen. All right, so you build yourself a little fort in the sofa. I love this lizard folk. All right, so you're the first to rouse, Varel, as the sun creaks in bright and early at around 4 a.m, shining through the little slit in your fort, and you're aware that it is the next day.
So first,
big question.
Yeah.
Mhm.
What happened to our stats?
Unfortunately, they remain.
Oh man.
Really bad.
how many are you down, Stanley?
I have a 7 in strength now, so I have a -2 to my strength modifier, and I was maxed on dexterity. I'm now a 17 on dexterity, so it's still good, but like it was really good before.
You can kind of tell. Well, I mean, you haven't exited your room yet, unless you have, but you can tell physically that you don't look well.
All right. Well, if I was first up, I would ring the chime.
Mm-hmm. Clang, 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 clang. And then the ghost emerges. Good morning. Hello. Good sleep then.
Yes, quite well. I would
Are you
like
ex-
to arrange breakfast for my companions and myself.
Oh, certainly. What would you like for breakfast?
Oh, whatever you have here.
Okay, well, I'll make you standard fare. Eggs, right? We've got some dried beef. We could probably produce into some sort of fried good of some delectable taste. Oh, just leave it with me. We've got Brussels sprouts and all kinds of fruits and vegetables. And Ella Nueva, or what? Ella Nuevia. I made a really hard name. She'll think of something. We'll work together on it. In about 20 minutes. Can you rouse your companions?
Will
I hate
do.
for the food to be cold. Very good. Anything else I can get for you this morning? Do you need baskets?
Baskets.
Yes. Do you need any? We have many baskets extra here.
What about our predicament requires baskets?
Oh, just if you wanted to do some gathering before you went on your way. It is a gatherer's lodge.
Oh, yes, the gathering. No, focus on slaying your Brussels. I will focus on the gathering.
Very good. We shall slay the Brussels, as you say. And then with a big smile on his face, he descends through the floor, but maintaining eye contact the whole time.
I stare right back.
I have this picture of Varel like bending and looking down as he goes.
Oh, yeah, that's a classic challenge. I listen to the floor once he's gone to make sure he won't reemerge.
I just picture you standing frozen, staring at the ground. All right. Well, as you stare at the ground, you don't go to rouse anyone. Stanley, you're up next.
Wake up feeling crappy, apparently, and start gathering my stuff, and make my way out.
Okay, make your way out, and you see Varel staring at the floor, and there's sofa pillows everywhere.
Varel, you got hit by Dientalus's little scythe as well, right?
Yes.
You feeling any better?
No, my strength has not returned from that blow.
No, nor has mine. Which, is a considerable problem, but, maybe it's something Eminil can help us with.
Agreed, we shall ask her.
I mean, she brought you back from being old before.
That is true. Perhaps she can remove this curse.
Or at least know what it is. Anyway, breakfast. Has somebody gotten Tom on the case?
Yes. Tom challenged me by making eye contact for an extended period of time. I will be here to greet him upon his return. Though he did request that the rest are roused.
Oh, okay. Well, I suppose I can handle that then. I wouldn't want to get in the way of your ghost challenge, so I will handle that.
Very good. Even in my weakened state, do I look impressive?
Yes, very.
Good. Very good.
Very intimidating.
Thank
That's
you.
why I had to ask if you were feeling. Anyway, I'm gonna go. Stanley will go and start
All right.
rousing everybody.
How do you rouse Hope and how do you rouse Nash?
For Hope, I'll just do a light knock on the door. Hope, we're getting up. We're getting going. Okay, hearing that, we'll know. And moving over to Nash, I will
That's pretty
approach
good.
the door, and I will cast message through the door and speak directly into his ear, and just go, Nash, Nash. Why
go.
did you let us eat the bonbons, Nash?
I'm gonna go. Angelashi! Okay, I'm up.
I thought I knew what it was at first, but I don't even know now.
And hearing that, Stanley will know that Nash is awake and leave the door.
You should have sent it back in a message, Scott. You missed your chance.
I should have.
Yeah.
I
I like how the chat room's asking, is it safe to breathe?
Yeah, you guys can breathe now. It's fine. So I'll get up.
All right.
I'll get up from that. My long fart. The morning
Are
fart.
you
All
sure
right.
you're not already on your feet
I'm
after
pretty
that?
good. I'm
Jeez.
pretty good.
All right, so everyone's up in the living room, and with that, Tom Solar Bear emerges from the floor with breakfast and approaches the table, and he says, "Oh, I suppose we should have cleaned up yesterday's meal." And he kind of brushes it aside with his hand and puts all the plates at one end of the table, and then he begins putting the breakfast food down.
You, have a busy night?
Well, yes.
Yeah. What did you get up to?
Well, Neva and I, we were doing some experiments last night.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Did Nash hear that?
Yeah.
Okay. He'll keep to himself for now.
You sure you want me to discuss this? I don't mind, but usually people think they're interested, then they're not. They realize later that they're not. So I've learned to just sort of say experiments. Maybe that's not the best word.
What would be a better word?
I don't know. It's the best I can think of. We
Okay.
try things.
Okay, you know what? I think I figured it out. You're right. It's
Yeah, I mean,
best
you
left
asked. You wanted to
between-
know, was I busy last
Fair,
night? And
fair,
I was
yes.
quite busy, in fact,
Better
with
kept
my
between the two of
romantic
you.
partner.
Mhm.
Just doing things that romantic partners they get
I
up to sometimes.
Completely understand why the table is the way
Good,
it
good.
is.
I'm
It's fine.
glad we had to talk about it.
Yes,
Yeah.
it was worth it.
Anything else I can do for you?
Nope.
Nope.
Good.
All right, well, I'll be on my way. Just ring the bell if you need me for anything else.
Sure.
All right, ta-ta. And then he disappears into the ground again.
Stanley
table-
will look over at Nash and say, "You want to know a real disturbing thought, Nash? They brought the food, right? We're able to be eating.
Yes, so there's a large. There are plates, forks, knives. There's a plate with butter on it. There is there's eggs, bacon, different meats piled up on a single plate. There's French toast. I don't know if you know what that is, but it's French toast sitting there. There's a bowl of looks like honey, maybe a syrup of some kind. And there's Varel. You notice this? There is a large cauldron filled with coffee, and next to it you see something that looks like squid. What do we used to call it? Squid juice, squid milk,
And squid.
No,
sand squid milk. Right. So it's similar in color to sand squid milk, but it looks, like white, and not sort of translucent and goopy.
Stanley will wait until Nash is about to take a bite of food, and then he will say, "You know what's perhaps the most disturbing part of all of this, Nash, is how does a ghost wash one's hands?"
Ah! Stanley! How do you say such things? And I'll force myself to swallow that food because I know I need the energy, but that's gross. Ghosts are gross, Stanley. They're gross.
All right. So breakfast is enjoyed by all. Is there any more conversating occurring during breakfast, or would you like to move on to your plans for the day?
No, I think we got a pretty good plan. I think
I'm good.
I'm ready.
Yeah.
Okay, so you guys eat breakfast, and it sounded like Hope, you're gonna tell everyone about the noble speeder.
Yes, but now that there's light out, she'll walk them to the garage as she talks about it, so that they can check out the speeder while she's describing it and how it turns and how it feels amazing and it's the best thing ever. While she's looking to see if there's any kind of fuel in the garage.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, so Hope wasn't able to find any fuel on her own. So after she's explained how the speeder works to everyone and what she wants to do with it, drive everyone home, she begins searching around for some sort of fuel in to put in the speeder, but she doesn't find anything.
There's no telling how long this can go.
Well, I think with the speed that this thing travels, any use we get out of it is better than none. I think we probably should head for the harbor first. It's on the way, closer, and the first objective we have.
All right, but before we go, we need to see how many this can fit, because if it can't fit all of us, I have an idea.
All right, perfect. So the four of you, I take it, clamber on. Hope gets on first. You rev up the engine, turning it on, and it goes boom, 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 and like the air pushes around on the grass as the slab of wood begins floating up into the air, and Hope's sitting on it, straddling it, and holding onto the handlebars, steadying it. And then she waves for everyone to come on. Who wants to try getting on first?
Well, we already know Hope and I managed fine. I say let's try Hope, myself, Varel, and if Nash can't fit, maybe he can just float and we can pull him through the air.
Exactly. You have Varel fashion a harness.
That's a
and
great
rope
idea.
him to the bike.
I'm totally down with it.
All right, so who gets on first?
Probably Varel. You gotta
Hope.
really? Oh, I
Hope's
guess
on
she has to
there. Hope's
drive.
on the machine. Yeah.
Hope's driving.
Oh, so you're definitely doing the kite idea then?
Oh, yeah.
I thought that was a hypothetical.
That was
Okay.
the exact idea, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
perfect.
Oh, okay, great.
I thought you were gonna
That was
see.
good.
I thought we were waiting to see if it would work first, but if you're just gonna
I'm
do
so
it by
happy
default,
we
then-
were all on the same page with that.
Okay.
Yeah, Dan,
I think
I'm
yeah,
down
because I was
for it,
like,
too.
why are they still talking? Oh, they've all decided that that's what's gonna happen without even needing to see. Okay.
Why don't we do Hope, myself, Varel, and then if Nash needs to grab onto Varel's tail, he can.
Okay, so it's Hope, then Stanley, then Varel behind everyone else.
Yeah.
Okay, as Varel gets on, it leans a little bit back into the ground and touches the ground in the back with Varel in the back. It's almost about to flip over. The way it looks, it probably looked to be better if Varel sat up front to even out the weight.
All right, we'll do a switch. But if he's in the front, he has to pilot it, right?
No. I mean on the front where the two poles are jutting out.
Oh, I see.
Or sitting in front of Hope. Like, there isn't much room between Hope and the handlebars for anyone to sit, least of all Varel with this massive frame. So he can sit on the hood. That's it. Or you can sit on the hood and Varel can sit on the back. It just seems that we've put too many people on the back half of the speeder.
You want to try the front there, Varel?
And what am I to do?
Hold on tight.
Should I face forward or backward?
Depends on if you want to catch the bugs.
There'll be bugs.
I ate a few last night.
Very well. I will clamber onto the front. What would my hands hold on to?
You'd have to hold on to the poles either the two wooden poles or just grip onto the side. Like there are carved elven faces and leaves on it, so you could sink your claws in. Like picture me here, and then like you're grabbing behind like this, and on the front. Have you ever double rid a bicycle before?
Yeah, like the little BMX poles sitting out the wheels kind of thing.
Yeah,
right?
it's like you're sitting in the basket, kind of, but there's no basket.
Okay. I would.
How are you gonna have? He can't be in there, right?
Well, look, there are plenty of cables and ropes around here. We could make it a bit safer, but ultimately, it's not very safe.
We're gonna get some good fan art of this moment if that happens.
I mean, I have rope. We can tie him down to it, but we could also use that for Nash to hold on to as he's blowing in the breeze behind.
I'm totally
I
down
have
with
rope
that.
as well.
I have no problem getting pulled like a kite. No problem.
All right, I will get on facing the party.
Okay.
So I will stand atop the two poles, bend over, and grab the front frame with my butt facing towards where we're going.
Yeah, your butt's gonna catch the flies. I got it.
Yes.
Okay, so the Varel's now standing. He balances and gets up as it hovers. Hope. He evenly distributes the weight so you feel comfortable driving, and lowers himself out of your way so that you can see where you're going. But you do have a lizard folk face like against the bottom, looking up and staring up at you as you drive.
All right, and now we need a harness for Nash.
All right, I'll take one end of the rope, tie it to the back of the bike. There's got to be a spot it can tie
Okay,
to, right?
sleight of hand check for the quality of the rope, please.
Okay,
Or
it's
no,
gonna be,
is there a better one for roping? I think sleight of hand would be right.
Sleight
It's
of
like-
hand, I think, actually involves rope.
Yeah, let's do sleight of hand. So let's see how good of a rope knot you can tie.
It's a 25. It's a 25.
It's important that
knot.
you roll high on this roll for Nash's sake.
Yeah.
Okay, 25. You tie it securely. It's one of the best knots you've ever tied. That rope's not going anywhere unless someone cuts the rope.
All right, it's to the bike very securely. Nash, come on, let's tie it around you. You're gonna want to hold on to it too in case something happens with this other knot.
All right. So let's tie it around me. We'll do
All right,
my.
the 25 carries over for this tie as well, Stanley. So you also secure him in real good in the harness. How do you want the harness though? Is it just around the waist, or you put in the shoulder? Is it a vest style harness?
No, I saw how.
Or,
fast
or
this
is it on a foot? Is it on a leg or something?
I saw how fast this goes. I know he probably should be a bit more secure, so we'll go over the top of the body. We don't want a ton of drag because it's gonna be whipping around. So
Okay,
you know,
so
we
how,
need him
how
at
long?
least somewhat close.
How
to
long?
the-
How many feet of drag are you giving then on this thing?
I don't know. Probably about 3 feet behind us or so.
Okay, so
far.
if-
he
if
needs
there's
to
a
be
s-
close to the thing.
If there's a sudden braking, he's got to also not run into you guys. So you can't make it that short either.
All right.
You can tie it to
That's
my
fair.
feet, and then I'll be laying flat, like not pulling too much resistance. You know what I mean? Like have me all long in the back.
I don't think that's a good idea, Nash.
It's up to you guys.
If it's what
He's-
you want, Nash, I will do it. But I'm not entirely sure that's the most secure way to have you.
Well, I can tell you this, DM. Nash assumes he'll be able to have some control over how violently he's flipped around back there because of his underwear. No speed, of course, but just like some sense of control. And I don't know if that's okay
Okay.
for me to assume that or not.
You will have no control. Oh, you might have a bit of control.
Just a little bit of like,
We'll have to work it out. It depends if something bad happens or not. That's the kind of thing that I'll deal with when I get there, kind of thing.
okay,
So it's hard
Alright,
for you.
Nash.
It's hard for you to know.
all right.
I'm gonna give you about 7 feet of slack. If you
Okay.
need, pull it in and pull yourself closer to it. If you need less, let it go. Understand?
Yes.
Here, I did a depiction of what this thing looks like. By the way,
I can't see. It's too.
it's kind of bad. It's not really. a
It's
great
too white.
depiction. Oh, it's too white. Okay. Never mind. Bad interruption.
It looked like a vulture bike to me.
Yeah, it's got something similar to Vulture Bike. Perfect. So, so where are we tying Nash again?
To the
By the
back.
waist.
to the like kind of crisscross across his chest,
All right.
so he's
So you-
supported.
So you have yourself Nash strapped in completely. Hope Nash is all tucked in.
All right, we ride to the harbor first. Is everybody ready?
Yes.
Yeah. I'm so happy we didn't even try it with Nash on there. We just assumed and it made him float. Oh my gosh.
All right. So I have a question for you, Hope. How fast are you gonna gun it? Slow and
She's
gradual,
gonna
or
go
are you hitting?
slow. Yeah, slow and gradual.
Yeah. All right. So
Am I
so with-
blocking her view?
No, you're laying low. She's fine.
Okay.
You're sort of clutching it and out of the way. You have an instinct that she has to pilot, so you know to avoid her field of vision. So I sort of assume like you're down here, like looking up, like a dog would look up at you in the car, like from the dashboard or something, you know. So she's so you're gonna have a gradual increase in speed. So Hope, you're about to leave, and you with Varel lying on the front, Stanley holding onto you from behind, and Nash standing on the ground with the harness tied to the back of the speeder. You turn to everyone and say,
Let's ride.
"All right," and then you click the gas and have a gradual pull. Nash, everyone, you feel the speeder float, and it feels nice, and she's coasting. Hope didn't go fast at first, and you begin moving quickly through space. Nash, immediately you feel this tension in the rope, and your feet start sliding on the wet grass. You know, as you like let it pull, and you kind of like skiing a bit on the grass. As it starts up, and then you look back, Hope, and you see Stanley going like hands out. And what is the thing they say in Titanic? I don't know. I'm
King of the
free.
world.
King of the world.
Yeah, there's a king of the world moment thing going on, but I'll let Scott decide if he says that or not.
No. They wouldn't let us
All
watch
right.
that in the solar mines. We weren't allowed.
He wouldn't let us say that in the solar mines,
Yeah.
of course.
They had a boob.
Well, do you say anything? You're currently skiing on the grass, and it's pretty cool.
I say, tell Pipe he was my favorite, and that's it.
Okay. All right. He looks safe. He's skiing. Up to you if you want to kick it into high gear.
All right, next gear up.
All right, so you increase the speed, and Nash, you begin floating off the ground as the speed increases, you're now being pulled and just flying through the air behind the speeder. Hope, you pick up speed, and it kind of feels good. The trees whip past you. Are you taking the road or the forest?
She take the road.
Okay, perfect. So there's a pathway leading back to the main path. As you pick up and speed that distance, you're able to cover a mile in about a minute. I don't have a good conversion, so it might sound off, but basically you can traverse one of these hexes within about a minute. So where would you like to take your vehicle?
To the harbor, fastest way via roads.
Yeah, so if you're going to go back the way you came, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Just going to count hexes. 90. Sorry, one sec. So about 50 minutes to the harbor, going at the speed you're going.
Cool.
All right, perfect. So Hope begins driving through the forest. She goes back the way you came. You head off to those bridges, where you saw the fisherman fishing from, but he's not there. You sort of speed by. Trees. The sun begins coming up as it's kind of a quiet ride, unless anyone wants to sing a song along the way. Is that happening? No songs.
I won't be able to.
You're not in the back going, "She's a golly good fellow, for she's a child." Just something crazy in the back. No craziness. Okay.
No.
So in silence, everyone rides upon this elven speeder back to the harbor, and Hope, as the familiar tree line emerges where you remember the harbor being the first time you went there, you see in the distance the houses that are formed in a circle with a small lake nearby, and you can proceed into the harbor or change your mind at this point. Last chance.
Nope, into the harbor.
All right, so you ride the speeder into the center of town, going boop, 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 and all the tieflings emerge either from the forest or from their houses to see what all the noise is about and greet you at the center of town. Nobieri exits his house and makes his way towards the center of the field to receive you. You're now floating in the center of the circle of houses up atop the speeder.
Cool. She will turn it off, dismount, kind of wait for everyone else to dismount too,
Okay.
and then offer her sack of mushrooms to Nobieri and go, "We need to speak with Eminel."
Yes, well, she's right here. Eminel. And Nobieri motions for Eminel to step forward, and she does, and she avoids making eye contact with Stanley and looks at the ground and says, "Yes, what can I do for you, Hope?" Oh, we're sorting some stuff out. Din 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 din. That's the oh, you're muted, Kristen, so I can't hear you. That's why I was being
I thought we were still delaying. Yeah.
Oh no, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, I guess the button didn't hit properly. Okay. So she'll turn to Eminel and she'll go, "We need to speak in private. The 4 of us and you must hold a council."
Of course, my queen. Please, this way to my home. And then she walks, without looking at you, Stanley, walks to her house and opens the door and makes her way inside. The party follows, with the last one in, closing the door. Nash, I assume someone let you out of the ropes. Is he allowed to? No? Okay, no.
No.
3 of the Hope, Stanley, and Varel walk into Eminel's house, and Nash, you're still tied to the speeder.
Fantastic. That's fantastic.
Do you want to do anything about that?
No, I'll just float there. I know my thing.
All right.
We'll notice that Nash isn't in the house and look a little confused and go, "Stanley, go ahead and start. I'll be back with Nash." And then Hope will go back and untie Nash.
All
All right, so do you let Hope untie you?
Yeah,
You're
I'll
kind
let
of
her
floating.
untie me. It's just all very embarrassing, so I'll kind of make a blank face as she does it. And
Okay, perfect. So can you make a sleight of hand check, please, Hope?
It's a 1.
great.
Oh, well, so it turns out Stanley is pretty good at tying knots, and he tied some really good knots. Nash isn't going anywhere. And as you attempt to remove the ropes, you get a little frustrated because the ropes aren't opening, and Nash is not helping you, even though he's the one tied up, and he's just kind of breathing on you and making noises and bitching a little bit, and and you get really frustrated at a certain point and try to pull a rope and break your finger. It just snaps and your finger gets stuck and it's crooked in the rope. And you I don't know that you scream out in pain or anything, but you take
Gosh.
This is
you
Stanley's
take 5
fault.
points of damage, and you're like your finger that you tried to pull with is like broken, clearly in the wrong direction.
Yeah, she'll scream. And then she'll call Navieri.
Nobieri rushes out from his house. My queen, what is happening?
I need
What
some
is-
help.
Are we under attack? Get the
No,
weapons.
no. It's just, I broke my finger trying to untie this rope. And it hurts a lot.
Oh my dear. Nash, why do you not help?
I can't. I'm
Her.
tied up. I'm tied up.
Your arms are free, you foolish man.
No, it's fine. I need this finger fixed.
Nobieri's clearly incensed with Nash right now, and he grumbles and he goes, "Step aside." And then he waves his hand, and the ropes loosen immediately and fall to the ground.
That's a nice trick.
He comments, "Whoever tied those did a good job.
Yeah, real good job.
Give me your hand here, my dear." And he sets out both of his hands.
And I grabbed them, thinking he means me.
Not you! And he smacks you in the forehead.
I don't know. I don't understand you tiefling types. It's fine. Hope he means you.
Hope will give her hand with the broken finger.
Okay, and he begins uttering a few magic words. Ye Christa Melhaya, Irendu Ber. And there you recognize that as infernal, and he's invoking a prayer of mending. And as he does so, your finger just snaps back into place. And you don't recover the hit points you lost, because that's just the exhaustion from taking pain over the day. But your finger's healed back into place.
Thank you.
Yes, he just shakes his head. He doesn't know what to say. He has a look like he wants to tell you to stop hanging out with those people, but he knows you have to. So that's just the general feeling he has, and he nods and he says, "Anything else, my queen?"
No, good luck with the mushrooms, and you're always welcome to join the meeting if you'd like.
Yes, I have a question about that. Where did you find these mushrooms? You only brought us one of each. I don't mean to complain, my queen, just we may need more than one.
Oh, it's in a cave to the north.
Okay, very good. Do you have it on a map or something that you can draw?
It is in a secret location.
Oh, you're not here.
Damn. I want to invade the area.
Nash, it's just Nash Hope, because we're just trying to sort out this untying the Nash from the vehicle. It's taking a long time.
It proved very complicated.
I've known to blame myself. It's not like someone else is running the game either. But yeah. What was the last thing that happened? I forgot.
He asked about the mushrooms.
Oh, right. He asked just where the location is, and just needs to, he can't just say in the forest somewhere. So he's kind of waiting for you to finish answering.
She'll describe heading to the lodge and the north to the hunting grounds, and then.
Oh, perfect.
North
You
from
give
there.
him like landmarks on the way. Okay,
Yeah.
perfect. He nods and thanks you. Very good, my queen. We will send. Are there any dangers left up there? I see you've survived.
Yes, it might not be from the fauna, though. There is a malevolent spirit still around that can possess people.
Oh,
Makes them hungry. It gives them veins around their eyes.
oh, oh! Interesting.
Yeah. Surprise.
Would I have your permission to find out more what this spirit is?
Yes.
Very good. Thank you. I will keep our numbers low in case things go poorly and the harbor can still exist. We will be safe. Rest assured. All right. With that resolved, Nash, you're now untied. Hope your finger is unbroken. Open Nash saunter into Imanil's house, where Stanley and Imanil have been silently not looking at each other for like 10 minutes. And finally, the doors close.
All right, get it underway. What are we doing?
Eminil, I know you're not exactly thrilled to see me again, and I don't blame you, but there is a very important matter we have to discuss. Dian Talis. I spoke of him before, many times. He's returned. He's here. We encountered him in our travels.
She just looks. She appears to be listening intently to what you're saying, but still not making eye contact with you.
The thing is that he seems intent on possessing me again. And knowing his means and the way he works means that he would likely try to go after people I care about, which means there is a target on you. It also means that being a manipulator, all the tieflings here could be in danger, just in general. He seems intent on getting to either myself or to Hope. There is some thought and some merit to the thought of maybe getting the tieflings out of here, though. His ability to hitch a ride with people, I don't know if it's only elves that he can do it with, does concern me that taking other people away with us would be bringing him along, too. But our hope is by me leaving and getting away from this place, it might make it safe. He might want to leave as well. Regardless, you and your people needed to be warned.
You have the queen of our people here. You could not tell her. You had to tell me.
Well, she knows as well, but as you know, Dian Talis knows every moment that we had, he was technically there.
And how are you sure you're not talking to Dian Talis right now?
I'm truthfully not. I'm hoping that I'm not. I'm hoping that he didn't make his way back here.
So your plan is to turn your back on your people, save only those you care about, and leave the elves to their fate with your enemy.
No, we would plan to lure him to us. He doesn't care about this place if we're not here. If Stanley isn't here.
Forgive me, Queen, but if I have a problem that concerns the security of our people, you are the first to know. Stanley has found out he has a connection to this place. Should he not bring it to his leader? We are guests here. This is very hostile to suddenly abandon those who offered us aid.
We intend to bring it to the people here. Unfortunately, his ability to take over people. Well, I don't know. We were attacked by people that we would have otherwise trusted. Not just one, but multiple. There's a chance that maybe he has the ability to control multiple minds at once now. I can't say for certain. But we were attacked by a group of mages when we travel north. We genuinely don't know who to trust. I do intend to warn people, but as long as I'm here, people are at risk. If I am gone, his goals will follow with me.
Not Dantel. Eminil listens intently. Her standoffishness turns into interest and understanding about the situation as she nods. And then she considers, if you wish, Stanley, we could consult the fish bird for wisdom.
I wouldn't necessarily reject that guidance, though I don't know that I'm an interested party to that guidance anymore.
The world of Earth is dry, and we need to replenish it with life-giving waters. I don't know who I trust more than Malhaya. Begging your forgiveness, Queen Hope.
No, it's all fine. You should do it, Stanley.
If you ask me what I think you should tell the leader of your people what is happening in his kingdom. And if you tell me that we must escape because our lives are in danger, and you'll feel safer knowing that I am safe and that the tieflings are safe, then I will do as I'm commanded by my queen.
I think you're right. We should, and we will, tell the leader here. Hope, I believe your people have been flung about from one world to another enough. We take the danger with us. We let them have their home. That's my thought.
I can agree to that. I mean, this place is better than anything I've ever seen.
And if you wish to consult Malhaya, I will be there.
We can do it now, Stanley.
Very well.
The connection here to the greater planes of existence is strong. We won't do it like we did with the bat, Stanley. You remember the bat?
Do I remember that?
Yeah, and in the church there was a pool of water. It was they're called the baths, but it's not like a bathtub. Okay. It's like, like a sauna, but it has a pool of water. And in communion with the fish bird, one might, soak in the waters to become closer to the spiritual element of the god. So you understand her meaning when she says that, and she says, "We will go to the lake. We will bathe in it and summon forth the fish bird's wisdom. Come." And she walks towards the door, and as she walks towards the door, she removes her shawl and she walks out into the opening clearing of the house and makes her way to the lake. And as she makes her way to the lake, she slowly disrobes her clothing as one piece at a time, leaving them on the ground as she walks from the house towards the lake, leaving a trail of clothes until she's fully naked. And she begins walking into the lake. She stops at the edge of the lake and turns to you as you look out from the door. She says, "Come, Stanley." And then she turns around and begins walking into the lake.
Stanley, the curse?
What? We'll find out. But one thing at a time. I will ask her.
After this. After.
Yes, after this.
Oh,
I will,
enjoy your
I will
soup.
bring it up. Why don't you ask Nobieri while I'm over there doing that? He seems to know about stuff.
He's strange.
Yes, he is, but he's also very powerful. He's weird. You say his name and he shows up. I look to see if Nobieri is paying attention because we did say his name.
No, he's gone back to his own house. He's not there.
I will find out. Look, I can barely lift anything right now, Varel. I'm ready for it to be gone too. I will ask. It's a difficult situation. I'll start walking towards the lake.
All right. So Varel, you watch. By the way, the invitation was for everyone. But I'll let you think about that because the last thing that we're going to do on this week's episode is Varel is standing in the doorway watching Stanley as he follows Emendel towards the lake. I have one question before we stop, though. Do you take off your clothes or are you walking clothed?
Is the sense that is a part of the ritual that is...
Yes, communion with the
intended?
fishbird and the element of water requires all barriers between you and the element to be away. So, yes.
Yeah, then I would be.
All right, so then we end with you can kind of see in the shot, it's early morning, there's mist over the air, it's cold, right? There's sun shining over this over these houses, and you see this tiefling woman naked walking into the water, and Stanley following behind, takes his cape and tosses it on the ground, and then we fade to black.
Well, good, because I don't want to see his naked ass.
Yeah, you want to wait 7 days, then see it.
Yeah.
A tasteful butt shot.
Yeah, tasteful butt shot.
Gratuitous
Like,
ass.
Fans deserve at least that
I didn't
much.
hear
Like-
any complaining when Emendel was disrobing Scott.
No.
Kevin
that's fine.
Costner in Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves. Just a real tasteful butt nudity.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. We're not talking. See, there's two kinds of man
I
butt
don't think
nudity.
you should say tasteful before butt nudity.
It can work. It can
That's
work.
like
I
probably
still think
true.
those words don't belong close together, even though
No,
I understood what
probably
you
not.
meant.
Season 2, The Boys, Homelander.
Oh,
tasteful
yeah, lots of
butt
butt in
nudity. Yeah. All right. Well done, everybody. Good stuff as always. We'll be back next week to find out what the heck happens in their little hot tub of love, and the rest of us will react accordingly. That'll be next week, right here on There Will Be
Hey,
Dungeons.
we should change the title of our show to React Accordingly. That's a great
That's
title.
not about. It's not
hot
about
tub
title.
of religion. It's not
what we do
you
here.
think it is.
Yeah, there you go. But anyway,
What about that clip?
oh yeah, I'm playing it. I'll play it at the end of the show. I'm playing it in post. So in
Okay.
post, you'll hear this song. And in the meantime, I want you to head on over to therewillbedungeons.com and sign up for our very cool and very easy to understand and very easy to sign up for support system. It's super easy. You can be an Instance Plus, Dungeons Plus member. That's a whole nother show with a whole nother thing. And when you do that, you get cool stuff in the mail. Maybe one day there'll be some artwork showing Nash getting yanked around by a speeder. I don't know.
Tasteful butt.
Yeah, tasteful butt. If you want some tasteful butt, check it out. That's therewillbedungeons.com. We're at There Be Dungeons on Twitter. You can find all our Twitter accounts and stuff on the site. And wherever you get your podcasts, leave us good reviews because we love hearing those and seeing those. They help us get discovered as well. That's going to do it for us, for me, for Kristen, for Kyle, for John, for Bo, and for Baby Chunks. We'll see you next time. This show is part of the Frog Pants Network.
Frog Pants Network.
Get more shows like this at frogpants.com. Well
You
done,
guys
everyone.
were freaking amazing.